Chapter 5695. Consort Qian Mei said, "Since everyone is here, let's start the meeting." There were around 3,000 foreign cultivators gathered there. These foreign cultivators were extremely strong. Lin Feng guessed that there were also some foreign cultivators, such as those who hadn't received the news, or those who were old, weak, sick, or disabled. However, those foreign creatures could not help much for the time being. Of course, there were more than 3,000 foreign creatures. This was already not a small number. After all, the foreign creatures' individual combat ability was too strong. However, compared to the Black Fog race, these foreign creatures were still not strong enough. The main reason was that the difference in numbers was too great. This was something that the foreign creatures probably knew as well. Lin Feng and the other three were keeping a low profile right now. However, Lin Feng did not have to worry about their identities being exposed by these foreign creatures, because Lin Feng's Great Destiny technique was already extremely powerful. After Lin Feng's Great Destiny technique changed their life auras, these foreign creatures would find it difficult to discover anything unusual. Even the three foreign creatures who were about to surpass their realms would not be able to discover the true identities of Lin Feng and the others, so any worries were unnecessary. In this meeting, we first need to elect an alliance leader. This time, there will be 3 candidates competing for the position of alliance leader, Yin Chang said. Hearing Yin Chang's words, everyone knew who the 3 candidates were. In fact, there was nothing wrong with it. After all, there were 3 experts who were about to surpass their realms here. Even if they were chosen to be the alliance leader, they would not dare to be the alliance leader. As for Lady Qian Mei, Heavenly Ghost Demon King, and Yin Chang, they were all very powerful. The Heavenly Ghost Demon King said, "Everyone can vote for me, Yin Chang, and Lady Qian Mei. Whoever has the most votes will be the alliance leader." Thus, more than 3,000 people began to vote. Not long after, the results of the vote came out. About 70% of the people chose Lady Qian Mei. Actually, the strongest among the 3 of them was not Lady Qian Mei. She could only be ranked 3rd among the 3 of them. However, she was simply too beautiful. Thus, many people treated Lady Qian Mei as a goddess. When it came to voting, the first choice was naturally Lady Qian Mei. Thus, Lady Qian Mei defeated the other 2 with a crushing advantage. The other 2 were more depressed, but this was the plan they had already worked out. There was no turning back now. Moreover, experts at their level wouldn't give up their reputation to do such a thing. Empress Qian Mei smiled and said, "Thank you for choosing me as the alliance leader. I'll definitely serve everyone well." Empress Qian Mei's voice could cause one's bones to go soft. This woman was truly enchanting. Many of the foreign creatures looked at Lady Qian Mei with burning gazes. Lin Feng guessed that if Lady Qian Mei wanted others to die for her, there might be people who were willing to do so. Now that we've decided on the leader, we should think about how to deal with this matter, Dame Qian Mei said. She looked at Zhang Yuan and said, "Zhang Yuan, tell me more about what happened." This was because only these leaders knew about this matter. The rest of the people didn't know about the whole process. Of course, they had more or less heard about what had happened. Therefore, they still needed Zhang Yuan to tell them the whole story so that they could understand the whole process. Zhang Yuan said, "Some time ago, I sent a few brothers to search for information about an ancient ruin, and they really did manage to find some specific information. That ancient ruin should be extremely extraordinary. After they received the information, they wanted to come back and report it to me. Then, we'll go there together and take out the treasures in that ancient ruin." Oh? But at that moment, their whereabouts were discovered by the cultivators of the Black Fog race. Then, the cultivators of the Black Fog race joined forces to attack my brothers in order to take all the treasures in the ancient ruin for themselves. Then, my brothers were seriously injured and managed to escape. But just as they were about to escape, they were killed by the cultivators of the Black Fog race. When have we, the foreign creatures, ever been so sullen? These years, we've been suppressed too much by them. These people have gone too far. So, we really can't tolerate it anymore. So many of our brothers have died. If we continue to tolerate it, they'll definitely think that we're easy to bully. So, I want to find a few leaders and told them about this matter. They gathered all the leaders here in hopes of finding a solution. After hearing Zhang Yuan's words, these foreign creatures were also extremely angry. After all, They had been oppressed too much these years. Now that they thought about it, they were gnashing their teeth. Lady Chinmei said, "Brothers, you've probably heard Zhang Yuan's heartfelt words. These years, we've indeed been suppressed too badly. Do these people really think that we, the foreign creatures, are pushovers? That they can do whatever they want with us? We really can't tolerate it anymore. We don't have many brothers to begin with. If we continue to tolerate it, perhaps even more of our brothers will be killed. That's right, we can't tolerate it anymore. We must get justice. We must kill those people. We must avenge our brothers who died. Not only must we avenge our brothers who died, but we must also make them compensate us. We must make them compensate us tenfold, 100-fold. Otherwise, we won't let this matter rest." Many foreign creatures were filled with righteous indignation and started cursing. Chapter 56-96. The otherworldly creatures had a fiery temper. They were easily angered. It was naturally easier to arouse their emotions. Lin Feng didn't find it strange at all when he saw the otherworldly creatures roaring and cursing. Now that the otherworldly creatures had gathered together, their battle prowess was obviously terrifying. In the world of cultivators, there was a saying that the number of otherworldly creatures couldn't exceed 10,000. Once there were more than 10,000 of them, they would be invincible. In other words, it was very difficult for the otherworldly creatures to exceed 10,000. If there were more than 10,000 of them, they would be extremely powerful. They would basically be invincible. But Lin Feng and the others only had 3,000 people. There was still a big gap between them and 10,000 people. Even if there were only 3,000 people, it was still unimaginably terrifying. Therefore, even though there weren't that many people, because these creatures were relatively strong, their vitality was relatively tenacious, and they were ferocious, they were a force to be reckoned with. Even if they couldn't defeat the Black Fog race, they would still be able to cause them great losses. Lady Chinmei waved her hand, and the surroundings quieted down. That's right, this time, we have to avenge our dead brothers. At the same time, we have to make them compensate us. Let's send a few representatives to negotiate. If they cooperate with us honestly, we can forget about this matter. If they don't, we'll make them pay with their blood. At worst, we'll just leave this place. The world is big, we don't have to stay here. Everyone agreed with Qian Mainyang's words. If they really fell out with the Black Fog tribe, they naturally couldn't continue to stay in this place. If they continued to stay here, they would definitely be killed by the Black Fog race. Therefore, the higher-ups decided to leave this place as soon as possible. And this point was unanimously acknowledged by everyone. Who should we send to negotiate with them? Yen Chang asked. I'll go, Zhang Yuan said. Zhang Yuan had lost a few of his brothers, so of course, he wanted to go and negotiate. However, Empress Qianmei said, Zhang Yuan, you can't go because your brothers have died tragically. You have too much hatred in your heart, and it's easy for you to become emotional. Once you become emotional, it's possible that something unpleasant will happen, which isn't good for negotiations. As such, we need to send some other people to negotiate. Zhang Yuan also knew that they would not send him. His suggestion to go over was a little too idealistic. Zhang Yuan replied, I don't have to go, but I have to send a few of my brothers. Sure. Lady Chinmei nodded. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. Lin Feng had heard that the cultivators of the Black Fog race were all gathered around the Nine-Heaven God mourning coffin. In other words, if they went to negotiate, they would definitely enter the Nine-Heaven soul mourning coffin. If he went to negotiate, he could enter the Nine-Heaven God mourning coffin to observe the situation inside. After thinking about this, Lin Feng whispered into Zhang Yuan's ear, Lord Zhang, you can send me over. I have the mirror of present here. I can use it to observe the situation inside the Nine-Heaven God mourning coffin. If a fight breaks out in the future, we'll be prepared. All right, Zhang Yuan nodded. Other than Lin Feng, there was another cultivator called Zhou Zheng, who was also sent by Zhang Yuan to go with Lin Feng. As for the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, the heretic sovereign, and the holy sage, they stayed behind. Apart from Lin Feng and Zhou Zheng, Empress Qianmei also sent 8 cultivators, making a total of 10 people. After that, Lin Feng and the others did not stop. They quickly left and flew towards the Nine-Heaven God mourning coffin. A month later, they saw the nine-heaven god mourning coffin in the distance. This was Lin Feng's first time seeing the nine-heaven god mourning coffin. In the void, endless black fog rolled and surged. In the middle of the black fog was an incomparably huge coffin. The coffin was tens of thousands of miles tall, long, and wide. It was as black as ink. The coffin was simply too huge. It was the nine-heaven god mourning coffin. After seeing the nine-heaven god mourning coffin, Lin Feng couldn't help but be amazed. It didn't seem to be inferior even when compared to the supreme celestial court. That kind of terrifying pressure, the shock to the soul, was really too shocking. He didn't know the origin of the nine-heaven god mourning coffin that it was so extraordinary. After seeing Lin Feng's shocked expression, Zhou said, "Brother Ji, this must be your first time seeing the nine-heaven god mourning coffin, right?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "That's right. This is my first time seeing the nine-heaven god mourning coffin, but I didn't expect it to be so extraordinary." Zhou said, "When I first saw the nine-heaven god mourning coffin, I was just as shocked as Brother Ji. I don't know who created the nine-heaven god mourning coffin. It's hard to imagine how powerful the creator was." "Are there really no clues about the nine-heaven god mourning coffin's origin?" Lin Feng asked. "There really aren't any clues. The only thing we know is that the nine-heaven god mourning coffin is a treasure left behind from many epochs ago. As for who created it, it's an unsolved mystery," Zhou said. Lin Feng nodded. At that moment, many cultivators flew over from afar. They were all cultivators from the epic lost races. However, they weren't cultivators from the Black Fog race or the Black Robe race. They were cultivators from the Black Fog race and the Black Robe race. They were cultivators from the Black Hand world, and they were responsible for guarding the perimeter. When they saw a group of alien cultivators flying over, they naturally had to stop them from advancing. Dozens of alien cultivators surrounded Lin Feng and the others. One of the leaders said coldly, "This is the place where the nine-heaven god mourning coffin is located. Halt and leave this place immediately. Otherwise, we'll kill you without mercy." The group of foreign creatures immediately became furious. They felt restraining fear towards Black Mist Clan, Black Robed Clan, creatures from the world of those behind the scenes. However, they weren't afraid of the other epic lost races. The other epic lost races were much weaker than the three great powers. But now, these ordinary cultivators from the epic lost races were actually able to strut around in front of them. They even dared to berate them. These alien cultivators were all high and mighty existences. Naturally, they were incomparably sullen and infuriated. The eyes of many alien cultivators turned gloomy. They looked at the cultivators from the epic lost races with killing intent. Chapter 56-97. The cultivators from the lost races of the epic could naturally sense the killing intent radiating from the eyes of the foreign beings. However, their faces were full of sneers. They had the absolute advantage in numbers. How could they be afraid of the foreign creatures? Moreover, this was the place where the nine heavens god mourning coffin was located. Not far behind them was the nine heavens god mourning coffin. As long as they shouted, they would be able to attract the attention of many experts. When the time came, if the foreign creatures dared to act rashly, at that time, they would all die without a burial ground. The leader of the epical race said coldly, "What are you looking at? Do you want to die? Don't think that we won't dare to touch you just because you're a foreign creature. Even if you're a foreign creature, you'll still die if you dare to trespass here. We didn't do anything to you out of respect for the foreign creatures. That's why we're telling you not to lose sight of the severity of the situation." The foreign creatures trembled with anger. They gritted their teeth and wanted to attack, but Lin Feng stopped them. Lin Feng said, "We're here to negotiate with the Black Mist tribe on behalf of the foreign creatures. Right now, the foreign creatures have formed an alliance under the leadership of 3 quasi-transcendents. More than 8,000 of them have gathered together. If the Black Mist tribe is serious about this, they'll negotiate with us. If they don't, we won't hesitate to start a war with them." Of course, Lin Feng was exaggerating the number of cultivators. In fact, there were only 3,000 of them. Lin Feng mainly wanted to intimidate them. After hearing Lin Feng's words, the cultivators from the epical race were startled. Even though they were acting high and mighty right now, they would be scared out of their wits when they actually faced the foreign army. They knew that if a war really broke out, they would be cannon fodder. Moreover, they heard that the foreign creatures didn't exceed 10,000. Once there were more than 10,000, invincible in the world. Even if the other side didn't have more than 10,000 people, they still had more than 8,000 people. 8,000 and 10,000, the difference wasn't that great. Just how great was the destructive power of such a powerful army of foreign cultivators working together? They didn't know why these foreign creatures had gathered together to attack the Black Fog tribe. However, these people weren't stupid either. They guessed that something they didn't know about definitely happened, which was why these foreign creatures were so angry, to the extent where they didn't hesitate to fight. The leader of the epic lost race said, "Wait here for a moment. I'll go in and report this matter." "All right, go ahead." Lin Feng nodded and said. Next, the cultivator from the epical clan swiftly flew inside while the others stayed behind. They cast wary looks at Lin Feng's group. At this moment, Zhou Zhang spoke up. "Brother Ji, you're calm in the face of danger. How about we let Brother Ji take the lead later?" The others nodded as well. They could tell that Brother Ji had an extraordinary bearing despite his young age. It was indeed the most reasonable thing to let Brother Ji handle this matter. Moreover, they didn't want to take on too much responsibility, so they were willing to let Lin Feng handle the negotiations. Therefore, the others all nodded in agreement. Not long after, the cultivator who left returned. He looked at Lin Feng's group and said, "Come with me." Then, that person took Lin Feng and the others towards the Nine Heavens coffin. They got closer and closer. As they got closer, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel excited. They were finally going to enter the Nine Heavens God Morning coffin. This time, they were only going in to check out the situation. However, this was already enough to make Lin Feng extremely excited. The next time they entered the Nine Heavens God Morning coffin, it was time for them to make their move. Soon, they arrived at the Nine Heavens God Morning coffin. Under the guidance of the cultivator, Lin Feng's group entered the coffin. The first level of the Nine Heavens God Morning coffin was a huge space. This space seemed to be boundless and contained powerful space-time laws. Apart from that, he couldn't see anything special. Lin Feng couldn't help but think that the place where the Nine Heavens God Morning coffin suppressed the cultivators wasn't on the first level. It should be on a higher level. "Are you the ones who want to negotiate with the Black Fog tribe?" At that moment, a voice was heard. Lin Feng's group turned around and saw a dozen cultivators from the Black Fog tribe walking over. Apart from them, there were also a few black-robed cultivators and a few evil spirit warriors from the world of the Black Hand. They were probably here to watch the show. No one said anything. Instead, they looked at Lin Feng. Clearly, it was as they'd said. They'd let Lin Feng handle the negotiations. Lin Feng said, "That's right. We want to talk with you. This time, your Black Fog tribe has gone too far. Even if you want to steal the treasures in the ancient ruins, you shouldn't have killed so many of our people. Moreover, we've been allies with the Lost Epic tribe for many times. You killed your allies for the sake of those ancient ruins. What's the meaning of this? Do you really think we're easy to bully?" The leader of the Black Fog tribe sneered. "We didn't kill your people. Don't slander us. Perhaps some other race's forces are pretending to be our Black Fog tribe and trying to frame us," said Lin Feng, smiling icily. "Things have already come to this, and you still want to deny it." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng took out a crystal ball. It was a ball of memory. Many images were imprinted in the ball of memory. These images were of the Black Fog tribe's cultivators besieging the otherworldly creatures and killing them with arrows. When the otherworldly creatures beside Lin Feng saw these images, their faces turned ashen. They more or less grieved for the loss of their kind. As for the Black Fog tribe's cultivators, their faces turned extremely unsightly. They thought that their plan was flawless, but they hadn't expected Lin Feng and the others to find evidence. Even if they wanted to deny it, they had no way to do so. Lin Feng said, "The evidence is conclusive. Do you still want to deny it?" The Black Fog tribe's cultivator sneered, "So what if you found evidence? This is a world where the strong prey on the weak. I still have many things to deal with. Get out now, and I won't kill you. Otherwise, I'll kill all of you as well." M. Chapter 5698. Lin Feng was overjoyed when he saw the Black Fog Tribe cultivator's unyielding attitude. The tougher the Black Fog Tribe cultivator was, the better. If the Black Fog Tribe cultivator's attitude softened too quickly, it would be detrimental to Lin Feng's plans. Lin Feng didn't really want to negotiate with them. If Lin Feng negotiated with them, how could they continue fighting? The tougher the Black Fog Tribe cultivator's attitude was, the lower the chances of negotiation and the higher the chances of fighting. At that time, Lin Feng would be more likely to fish in troubled waters. Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the Black Fog Tribe cultivator's unyielding attitude. Of course, Lin Feng wouldn't show his thoughts on his face. Lin Feng's expression was extremely gloomy. He said, "Good, very good. Our 8,000 allied troops are ready to go. Just wait for our arrival." After hearing Lin Feng's words, the Black Fog Tribe cultivator's expression turned slightly gloomy. He knew that these otherworldly beings were extremely difficult to deal with. With so many of them gathered together, they could pose a huge threat to them. At that moment, one of the black-robed cultivators said, "I think there's still a chance for negotiation. There's no need to make things so tense." The black-robed cultivator's words gave the Black Fog Tribe cultivator a way out. The Black Fog Tribe cultivator asked, "What do you want?" Lin Feng said, "It's very simple. Hand over the murderers of our brothers. That's our first condition." "That's impossible," the Black Fog Tribe cultivator said coldly. After pausing for a moment, he continued, "We can compensate you in other ways." Lin Feng sneered. "A life for a life, and a debt must be repaid. This is a matter of course. Not only must you hand over the murderers, but you must also repay our losses tenfold." After hearing Lin Feng's words, the Black Fog cultivator immediately sneered. He said, "You foreign creatures are far too full of yourselves. Don't you know who controls this starry sky world? The master of this starry sky world is our Black Fog tribe, not your foreign creatures. The reason why the Black Fog clan is willing to negotiate with you is not because we fear you, but because we are giving face to the Black Cloak clan. Therefore, don't fail to appreciate our kindness," said the Black Fog clan. This guy's words were tough, and he felt good about himself. However, after thinking about it carefully, what he said was quite reasonable. After all, the Black Fog tribe was very powerful in this starry sky world. Ordinary forces did not dare to provoke the Black Fog tribe. Moreover, the Black Fog tribe, the Black Cloak clan, the people from the Black Hand world, and many other lost races had formed an alliance. No matter how powerful the foreign creatures were, they were few in number. Therefore, the Black Fog tribe cultivator really believed that the foreign creatures would not dare to make a move, and that they were just bluffing. Lin Feng said with a gloomy expression, "Does that mean there's no way to continue this negotiation?" At that moment, the Black Cloak clan cultivator said, "How about this? Let's each take a step back. What do you think?" Lin Feng said, "Ask the brothers beside me. What do you think?" The foreign cultivators next to Lin Feng were all extremely sullen. Of course, they would not agree to take a step back. Moreover, Lin Feng had asked them to repay their losses tenfold. In fact, they felt that this request was too low. 100-fold repayment was still acceptable, but why did he ask for tenfold? If they really asked for tenfold repayment, how would they split the loot when there were so many of them here? Many of them would not be able to reap any benefits. However, the foreign creatures were not willing to accept tenfold repayment, let alone 100-fold repayment. "There's no need to continue this negotiation," a foreign creature said. The Black Fog tribe cultivator sneered. "If there's no need to continue this negotiation, then let's end it here. All of you, leave quickly. Don't stay here any longer." Lin Feng nodded and did not say anything else. He then left the Nine Heavens coffin with the other foreign creatures. After leaving the area, Zhou said with a gloomy face, "These people are going too far. They really don't put us foreign creatures in their eyes. How hateful." Another foreign creature said, "There's nothing we can do about it. Who told us to be so weak here? This isn't our territory. It's the Black Fog tribe's territory. It's natural for them to act like they have everything under control." "What should we do now?" another foreign creature asked. Lin Feng said, They're too stubborn. It's too difficult to negotiate, and even if we succeed, they won't give us too many benefits. This is something we can't tolerate. So many of our brothers have died tragically, and we've been oppressed by them for so many years. If they don't want to pay the price, aren't they just toying with us? I think we should return to the Sirius Star and report this matter to the Masters. Let the Masters decide on this matter. The others all nodded. Then, Lin Feng and the others quickly flew back to the Sirius Star. When she saw Lin Feng and the others return, Lady Qianmei asked, "How did things go?" Lin Feng said, "Lady Qianmei, they're very stubborn. They clearly told us that they definitely won't hand over the Black Fog tribe cultivators who killed our brothers. In addition, they gave us very little compensation. When I asked them to pay us 10 times the compensation, they refused. We couldn't make a decision on this matter, so we quickly returned to report this matter to the Masters," Zhang Yuan said. Zhang Yuan cursed. The Black Fog race's cultivators think too highly of themselves. Since they don't place us outlanders in their eyes, there's no need for us to be polite with them. Sirs, let's kill our way over and let them know that we outlanders aren't to be trifled with. That's right. Let's kill them now. Then, we'll make them pay a terrible price. Kill, kill, kill. Kill all those bastards. Show us the might of the otherworldly creatures. The surroundings immediately became noisy. The foreign creatures all felt very aggrieved, which was why they were all filled with murderous intent. They wanted nothing more than to kill their way to the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin and fight the Black Mist race to the death. End of chapter. Chapter 5699. Lady Qianmei said, "If we go there rashly, they might be prepared. It's obviously not a good choice. We need to think of a more reliable method before we kill our way over." Although Zhang Yuan couldn't wait to kill his way over to get his revenge, he had no choice but to endure for now after hearing Lady Qianmei's words. However, even after thinking for a long time, they still couldn't come up with a good plan. "I have an idea, but I wonder if it'll work?" At this time, a foreign creature spoke. "What idea?" asked Lady Qianmei. Everyone looked at the alien creature who had just spoken. "It's like this," said the alien creature. "A few years ago, I obtained a mysterious minor world. Then, I refined it. Now, everyone can enter the minor world. I'll lead a few people and pretend to be the second batch of negotiators. Then, we'll go to their location and enter the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin. When the time comes, we'll suddenly attack and catch them off guard. What do you think of this idea, Lord?" said Lady Qianmei. "It sounds like a good idea, but they definitely have a way to detect cultivators hiding in minor worlds or spaces. If we go there like this, we'll definitely be discovered. That's why it'll be very difficult to implement. I don't think it'll work." The others nodded as well. They all agreed with Lady Qianmei. At that moment, Lin Feng said, "I have a stone of destiny with me. It contains a powerful destiny energy. If we use destiny energy to seal this minor world, we'll be able to cut off all senses." Hearing Lin Feng's words, everyone's eyes lit up. Destiny energy was one of the most mysterious types of energy, and it could even change one's destiny. Therefore, when Lin Feng said this idea, everyone felt that it was very feasible. Said Zhang Yuan, "I think it'll work. What do you think, lords?" The others also turned to look at the three transcendents. Said Yin Chong, "If we use other powers to seal this minor world, it won't work. However, if we use destiny energy to seal this minor world, we should be able to cut off all auras. I think it'll work." "I think so too." Lady Thousand Charm and Heavenly Ghost Demon King agreed. Lin Feng said, "Since that's the case, let's all enter the miniature world. We'll leave some people outside and pretend to be the ones going to negotiate with the Black Fog race. Once everyone enters the miniature world, I'll immediately use the Stone of Destiny to seal it." "All right, we'll do it this way. However, after the small world is sealed, you people outside try to sense it and see if you can sense our auras. If you can, we'll have to think of another way," said Lady Qianmei. "Yes." Lin Feng nodded. The cultivator summoned out his little world. Next, Lady Qianmei and the others quickly flew towards the little world. After the leaders flew into the miniature world, the rest of the otherworldly creatures also flew in. There were still a dozen or so otherworldly creatures outside. Once everyone had entered, Lin Feng took out the Stone of Destiny. In truth, the Stone of Destiny was originally a very ordinary stone. Lin Feng had secretly injected destiny energy into it, and it became the Stone of Destiny that Lin Feng had mentioned. Lin Feng had done this because he didn't want to expose the secret of his great destiny technique. If this secret was exposed, it would be extremely disadvantageous for him. Lin Feng summoned a powerful destiny energy, which enveloped the entire miniature world. Then, the destiny energy sealed the entire miniature world. Lin Feng said, "Brothers, can you sense the auras of the people inside?" Everyone tried to sense it, but they all shook their heads and said, "I can't sense anything. I can't sense anything either. I can't sense anything either." Lin Feng said, "Looks like this method will work." "That's great. With so many cultivators attacking together, we'll definitely be able to crush them. However, we can't show any signs of abnormality because the black mist race is extremely cunning. If we show any signs of abnormality, they might discover us. If that happens, our plan will fail completely." After hearing Lin Feng, everyone nodded and said, "Don't worry, we'll hide our emotions." Lin Feng's group quickly flew towards the Nine Heavens coffin. Half a month later, they arrived at the miniature world. Seeing Lin Feng's group coming back, the patrolling cultivators sneered. One of them said, "These guys are like ghosts that won't go away." The leader said, "Your Excellency already guessed that these guys would come back. Their departure earlier was only a means of negotiation." "What do you mean, Your Excellency?" asked a cultivator. "Your Excellency wants to leave them hanging for a while." The leader said, "That's a good idea." The others nodded. The leader sneered and said, "Why don't these guys look at themselves in the mirror? Do they really think this is a place where otherworldly creatures like them can behave atrociously?" Having said that, he led the others towards Lin Feng's group. After they arrived, Lin Feng said, "We want to negotiate with Your Excellency. Take us there now." The cultivators sneered. The leader said, "Our Excellency is dealing with some urgent matters. When he's done, he'll let you know." Lin Feng's group nodded and waited outside. This wait lasted for more than 10 days. During this time, they kept urging the other party, but they didn't receive an audience. Clearly, the other party was doing this on purpose. Lin Feng was secretly happy. The otherworldly creatures in the miniature world were probably about to die from anger. The angrier they were, the better. The angrier they were, the greater their hatred for the black mist race would be. The war would be even more tragic. He would be able to fish in troubled waters and have a greater chance of saving his mother. P.S. 6 chapters. Please subscribe. End of chapter. Chapter 5700. After waiting for an entire month, Lin Feng and the others were finally brought into the Nine Heavens Spirit Morning Coffin. There were more than 10 cultivators from the other side. Some of them were from the Black Fog tribe, some were from the Black Robe tribe, and some were from the world of the Black Hand. The Black Fog tribe cultivators were the ones in charge. After all, this matter was related to the Black Fog tribe. As for the Black Robe tribe and the cultivators from the world of the Black Hand, they were just there to watch the show. Although they said they were not helping either side, everyone knew that they were definitely on the Black Fog tribe's side. "I heard that you want to negotiate with my tribe?" After seeing Lin Feng and the others, the Black Fog tribe cultivator showed a mocking expression. "Didn't the negotiation fail last time? Why are you here again? Now that you've come back, don't you feel ashamed?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "Last time, the negotiation failed. But this time, we're not here to negotiate." "Not to negotiate? Then what is it for?" the Black Fog tribe cultivator asked with a frown. Lin Feng said, "We're here to kill you guys." After saying that, Lin Feng's body flashed and appeared next to the Black Fog tribe cultivator. Then, he grabbed the Black Fog tribe cultivator's neck. The Black Fog tribe cultivator's expression suddenly changed. He didn't expect Lin Feng to be so strong. The Black Fog tribe cultivator said loudly, "This is the Nine Heavens Spirit Morning Coffin. If you dare to behave atrociously here, you'll all die without a burial place." Lin Feng smiled and said, "Is that so? Then we'll wait and see. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see what happens next." After saying that, Lin Feng directly broke the Black Fog tribe cultivator's neck. Brat, you're courting death. Seeing that the Black Fog tribe cultivator had been killed by Lin Feng, the cultivators from the three great powers were furious. They wanted nothing more than to tear Lin Feng and the others to pieces. Meanwhile, these foreign creatures were extremely excited. They had been given the cold shoulder for such a long time, feeling incomparably sullen. Now that they saw this fellow being killed by Lin Feng, they were obviously incomparably happy. Kill them, a Black Fog race cultivator said in a deep voice. The cultivators from the three great forces wanted to kill off Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng said, "Why aren't you letting them out?" The foreign being quickly nodded and summoned his small world. All of the foreign creatures in the small world flew out. Run. When the cultivators of the three great powers saw so many foreign creatures flying out, they were scared out of their wits. Their faces were as pale as paper. How could they dare to stay any longer? They hurriedly fled into the depths. Ha 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 ha. Where do you think you're going? Yin Chang laughed and sent out a palm strike. A huge energy palm was condensed in the void. Then, the huge energy palm ruthlessly slapped towards those people who were trying to escape. A group of cultivators was instantly annihilated. Madame Thousand Charms said, "Send 500 people to deal with those people outside. The rest of you, kill them together. After killing them, don't forget to take their storage rings. These people are extremely rich. Even if we can't obtain any opportunities here, as long as we can get the storage rings of the experts of the three great powers, it'll be the same as obtaining many great opportunities." Madame Thousand Charms' words were very reasonable. After all, the three great powers had basically obtained all the opportunities in the buried god's starfield. Therefore, killing these people and taking their storage rings was indeed the same as obtaining many great opportunities. However, if they could obtain some other opportunities here, it would be even better.
Yes.
The two leader-level foreign creatures led the 500 foreign creatures and flew out. They were going to clean up the remnants of the epics outside. If there were too many remnants of the epics outside when they retreated, it would be very disadvantageous for them. Therefore, they had to clean up the remnants of the epics outside to ensure that they could leave without any obstructions. Although the remnants of the epics outside had relatively high cultivation bases, compared to these foreign creatures, you are still far too lacking. It shouldn't be a problem for the foreign creatures to get rid of the remnants of the epics outside. At this moment, the large group gathered together and charged towards the depths. The foreign creatures charged at the front while Lin Feng's group of four stayed behind. Lin Feng's group's main goal was to save people. Therefore, Lin Feng planned to conserve his strength first. Moreover, Lin Feng still didn't know where his mother was sealed. Lin Feng still wanted to find someone to ask. He planned to capture a few cultivators of the three great powers and ask them. Soon, they reached the depths of the first layer of the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin. There was a huge light pillar in the depths of the first layer. This light pillar contained extremely terrifying energy. This light pillar seemed to be a teleportation light pillar. Clearly, there were no stairs here. If one wanted to go up, they had to take the teleportation light pillar. A large number of foreign creatures entered the teleportation light pillars. Lin Feng's group of four was mixed in with the crowd. Soon, they arrived at the second layer. The second layer of the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin was extremely large. There were many areas shrouded in primal chaos. Aside from these areas, there were also many huge mountain ranges. Within these mountains, there were many caves, and those caves were actually equivalent to prison cells. Heavens! Those mountain ranges are all made of forbidden law stones. Many foreign creatures roared out in disbelief. Forbidden law stones were extremely precious. Some top powers might find some forbidden law stones and forge them into materials to create a cage. No matter how strong someone was, once they were imprisoned, it would be very difficult for them to escape. After all, once one's magic power was sealed, one's battle prowess would drop drastically. Such precious forbidden magic stones had actually formed one huge mountain range after another in this place. It was too inconceivable. We're rich. We're rich. If we collect those forbidden law stones, how many immortal stones can we sell them for? Many foreign creatures roared out in excitement. Qian Meinyang said, The most important thing right now is to release the prisoners, then collect those forbidden law stones. Yes, these foreign creatures roared out loudly. Then, they quickly flew towards those mountain ranges. At this time, many experts who were stationed in the second layer of the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin rushed over. You foreign creatures dare to attack the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin? You're simply seeking death. You will all die here. The experts of the three great powers roared furiously. Bastards, you should be the ones dying. Many foreign creatures cursed, unwilling to be outdone. Then, the two sides engaged in a great battle. Blood splashed and flesh flew. Many foreign creatures and cultivators of the three great powers died on the spot. Chapter 57:01. Of course, even though both sides suffered heavy casualties, if one really had to make a comparison, the number of casualties of the foreign creatures was far less than that of the three great powers. After all, the three great powers only had about 2,000 cultivators stationed on the second floor. These 2,000 cultivators couldn't be compared to the foreign creatures in terms of individual combat ability. Moreover, the foreign creatures had 3 half-cultivation surpassing experts overseeing them. That was why if one truly compared the two sides, the difference between the two sides really was a bit too great. The three great powers side suffering a bit more losses was also to be expected. Quite a few foreign creatures slaughtered their way towards the various mountain ranges. The cultivators in the cages shouted loudly, "Let us out! Hurry up and let us out! We'll kill the enemy together with you." Then, the foreign creatures released the people inside. They didn't necessarily want to release the people inside. The main thing was that releasing them now was extremely beneficial for them. The cultivators who were imprisoned were quite strong. After being released, they quickly joined the battle. When the cultivators of the three great powers saw that they couldn't stop these people, they all fled towards the depths. In the process of fleeing, many people were killed. At the same time, many of the foreign creatures wanted to collect the mountains formed by the forbidden magic stones. They even fantasized about selling the mountains formed by the forbidden magic stones. When the time came, they would be able to make a fortune. This kind of thinking was quite good. If they really succeeded, they would be able to make a fortune. However, when they tried to collect the forbidden magic stones, the mountains didn't move at all. Those mountain ranges actually didn't move at all. When they saw this scene, the expressions of those foreign creatures immediately became ugly. The mountain ranges actually couldn't be collected. This completely destroyed the beautiful dreams they had in their hearts. These foreign creatures guessed that the mountains had already merged with the Nine Heaven God Morning Coffin, which was why they failed to collect them. Therefore, many of the foreign creatures began to curse loudly. Don't let them escape. Kill these bastards. The cultivators who were released roared angrily. Then, they quickly chased after the escaping cultivators. Together with the foreign creatures, they attacked the escaping cultivators. In the end, only a small number of people managed to escape. Most of them were killed. Then, the foreign creatures and the cultivators who were released all entered the teleportation light pillar. They arrived at the third level of the Nine Heavens God Morning Coffin. The third layer's cultivators had already received news of the foreign creatures' invasion. That was why as soon as the foreign creatures and the cultivators who were released arrived at the third layer, they suffered a powerful attack from the third layer's garrison. The two sides immediately engaged in a chaotic battle. Some were busy fighting against the cultivators from the three great forces, while some were busy saving the other cultivators. Lin Feng planned to capture a few cultivators and search their memories to see where his mother was imprisoned. If he couldn't find them, he would capture a few more people and bring them to a hidden place to interrogate them. Lin Feng locked onto an extremely powerful Black Fog tribe cultivator. Then, he quickly flew towards the Black Fog tribe cultivator. The Black Fog tribe cultivator also saw Lin Feng flying towards him. When he saw how young Lin Feng was, his expression immediately became extremely cold. He had cultivated for a long time while Lin Feng was so young. Naturally, he didn't think that he couldn't beat Lin Feng. Therefore, the Black Fog tribe cultivator slapped towards Lin Feng. He could almost see the scene of Lin Feng being killed by his slap. However, when their attacks collided, the Black Fog tribe cultivator was sent flying by Lin Feng's slap. The Black Fog tribe cultivator's face immediately revealed an expression of disbelief. Even with his powerful cultivation, he couldn't block the attack of such a young cultivator. This made him pale with fright. Only now did he realize that the young human cultivator in front of him couldn't be described with common sense. This person's cultivation was simply unimaginable. At this moment, Lin Feng quickly charged towards the Black Fog tribe cultivator. When the Black Fog tribe cultivator saw Lin Feng charging towards him, his expression became extremely gloomy. He wanted to quickly escape, but Lin Feng didn't give him the chance. Lin Feng directly suppressed the Black Fog tribe cultivator. Then, Lin Feng grabbed the Black Fog tribe cultivator's head and directly searched his soul. However, at this moment, the Black Fog tribe cultivator's soul directly shattered. This Black Fog tribe cultivator's soul was set up with a powerful restriction, so it was impossible to search. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. However, he was already mentally prepared for this situation. Therefore, even if something like this happened, there was nothing to be surprised about. Lin Feng then suppressed a few more cultivators. There were Black Fog tribe cultivators, Black Robe tribe cultivators, and also cultivators from the Mastermind's world. After failing 4 times in a row, Lin Feng planned to capture someone and find a hidden place to interrogate them if he failed again. However, when he searched the cultivator's soul for the 5th time, Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. Because this cultivator's mind didn't have any soul restriction, Lin Feng obtained a lot of important information from this cultivator's mind. For example, this cultivator's mind contained a lot of information about the 9 Heavens God Mourning Coffin. Some experts with extremely special identities were suppressed in the 9th level of the 9 Heavens God Mourning Coffin. However, he hadn't been to the 9th level of the 9 Heavens God Mourning Coffin. Therefore, he didn't know the specific identities of the people suppressed there. After obtaining this information, Lin Feng's face showed a hint of joy. His mother was from the Sovereign Emperor clan, so her identity was very sensitive. It was very likely that she was suppressed in the 9th level of the 9 Heavens God Mourning Coffin. Chapter 5702. Lin Feng was thinking about how to enter the 9th level of the 9 Heavens Spirit Mourning Coffin. This was because he was only on the 3rd level. It would be too difficult for him to enter the 9th level. Lin Feng felt that it was impossible for them to fight their way to the 9th level. Therefore, it was basically impossible for them to enter the 9th level. However, Lin Feng wanted to go to the 9th level to save people. Lin Feng quickly thought of an idea. Could he disguise himself as a Black Fog tribe cultivator and pretend to call for reinforcements? This way, he would be able to ascend to a higher level. If all went well, he should be able to reach the 9th level. Lin Feng felt that this was a feasible method. Therefore, Lin Feng gathered the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the Evil Dominator Holy. Lin Feng told the 3 of them about his idea. The 3 of them felt that Lin Feng's idea was feasible. Therefore, the 4 of them flew towards the depths. It didn't take long for the 4 of them to reach the depths of the 3rd level. Lin Feng and the 3 of them became Black Fog tribe cultivators. Lin Feng then used the Great Destiny technique. He used the Great Destiny power to change their auras. Now, they were basically no different from the Black Fog tribe cultivators. The Black Fog tribe cultivators couldn't tell that Lin Feng and the others were impersonators. The cultivators on the 4th level had already discovered the battle below. When Lin Feng and the others entered, these people were already planning to enter the space below. Said Lin Feng hastily. Masters, I don't know why, but thousands of foreign cultivators joined hands to attack the 9 celestial coffin. They released many prisoners. Hurry up and go and help the cultivators down there. Otherwise, those foreign cultivators and the prisoners who were released will come back to attack us, said Lin Feng hastily. The cultivators of the 3 major powers knew about the battle below, but they hadn't expected it to be so tragic. For countless years, such a thing had never happened before. Therefore, these people were gnashing their teeth in hatred towards these foreign creatures. Moreover, they could imagine that many people had already died below. Thinking of their dead compatriots, these people became even more furious. Therefore, the cultivators of the 3 great powers quickly flew down. At this time, Lin Feng revealed a trace of a smile. It seemed that the implementation of his method was very successful. The Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the heretical revered saint were also delighted. Lin Feng's group of 4 arrived at the teleportation light pillar in the depths of the 4th layer. They had successfully entered the 5th layer of space. After arriving at the 5th level, Lin Feng shouted, "The foreign creatures have gathered thousands of people and are attacking the 9 heaven god mourning coffin. They have released many prisoners, and the foreign creatures and the prisoners are working together. It's too terrifying. Our people have suffered heavy casualties, and we can't hold on much longer. Everyone, quickly go down and help." The cultivators on the 5th level were all extremely shocked. Someone actually dared to attack the 9 heavens god mourning coffin. This was too unbelievable, but they naturally didn't think that Lin Feng was lying. The cultivators on this floor hastily gathered together and quickly flew down. Lin Feng followed suit. He, the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the heretical revered saint led the cultivators on the 6th, 7th, and 8th levels to the battlefield below. Then, the 4 of them arrived at the 9th level. As soon as they arrived at the 9th level, someone flew over and looked coldly at Lin Feng's group. He said, "The 9th level is the forbidden area of the 9 heaven god mourning coffin. No one is allowed to enter without permission. You should know that by now. Since you know that, why are you still trespassing on the 9th level?" said Lin Feng hastily. "Master, a large number of foreign cultivators gathered together and attacked the 9 heavens coffin. We've suffered many casualties. The 4 of us came to inform you that we can't resist the attacks of the foreign cultivators and the prisoners. We hope that the master of the 9th floor can come and help us," said Lin Feng hastily. After hearing Lin Feng's words, the cultivators on the 9th level were extremely shocked. Clearly, they hadn't expected this to happen. "Are you telling the truth?" the leading cultivator asked in a deep voice. Lin Feng nodded. "Of course it's true. How could I joke about something like that? Let's go. Let's go down and take a look," the leading cultivator said in a deep voice. After that, the cultivators on the 9th level gathered together. There were about 3,000 people in total. This was the strongest force in the 9 heavens god mourning coffin. These people flew down, but there were still a few hundred people guarding the 9th level. After seeing these people, Lin Feng frowned slightly. There were so many of them, and they were so strong. On the other hand, he only had 4 people on his side. It would be very difficult for him to deal with them. However, Lin Feng wasn't completely helpless. The 4 insect swarms could be of use at this time. Therefore, Lin Feng summoned the 4 insect swarms. An endless swarm of insects flew out and swiftly flew towards the surrounding cultivators from the 3 great forces. "Du Zhu, go and help them," Lin Feng said. Du Zhu nodded and quickly flew over. He released his poison and cooperated with the insect swarms to deal with the cultivators of the 3 great powers. What's the meaning of this? The cultivators of the 3 great powers were shocked. Although they didn't know why Lin Feng and the others had suddenly attacked them, since Lin Feng and the others had attacked them, they were enemies and not friends. They had to suppress Lin Feng and the others first. Lin Feng didn't say much to them. The 4 insect swarms joined forces with Du Zhu to fight the cultivators. The insect swarms were constantly dying. They weren't a match for the cultivators at all. However, it shouldn't be a problem to hold them back for a while. Therefore, the cultivators' hopes of suppressing Lin Feng and the others were dashed. At this moment, Lin Feng, the Emperor Brush, and the heretic sovereign sage flew towards the first mountain. Chapter 5703. There were only 2 mountain ranges in the 9th level. There weren't too many cages either. The first mountain range only had a dozen or so cages, and some of the cages didn't have any prisoners. Lin Feng saw a few prisoners. The prisoners also saw Lin Feng's group. Their faces were filled with astonishment. They didn't expect a few cultivators to sneak into the 9th level. These cultivators were obviously extremely powerful, and now they saw hope of escaping. "Save us." They looked at Lin Feng's group with hopeful eyes. Lin Feng, the Emperor Brush, and the heretic sovereign saint quickly flew over and shattered the cages. The few cultivators walked out. When they came out, their dermic powers were rapidly recovering, and a world-destroying aura surged out. Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed when he sensed the strong cultivator's qi. These people's auras were simply too powerful. Even if they were unable to display their peak combat strength for the time being, as long as they could display a portion of their combat strength, it was already terrifying enough. When they saw Lin Feng's group release the prisoners, the expressions of the cultivators from the three major powers became extremely ugly. Lin Feng asked, "Seniors, is there a female prisoner called Ji Longer here?" "Yes. She's been suppressed in the depths of the mountain range." "You can go there to find her," said a cultivator. "Many thanks." Lin Feng cupped his fists and quickly flew towards the mountain range. At this moment, dozens of cultivators exterminated the swarm of insects that surrounded them and charged towards Lin Feng's group. The Emperor Brush and the heretic sovereign saint helped Lin Feng delay these people. Lin Feng continued to fly deeper into the mountain range. Lin Feng arrived at the second mountain range. There were 3 people imprisoned here. There was a demon race cultivator, a sea race cultivator, and a woman. The woman looked to be about 30 years old. She was extremely beautiful. When Lin Feng saw her, his body trembled slightly. The feeling of being connected by blood made Lin Feng's eyes burst into tears. The woman's eyes were originally closed, but at this moment, she seemed to have sensed something. She opened her eyes and looked at Lin Feng. Because Lin Feng had changed back to his original appearance, the woman saw Lin Feng's original appearance when she saw Lin Feng. She stood up, as if she couldn't believe what her eyes were seeing. "Oh, damn it. Who is this kid? He's so powerful. He actually came here. Kid, quickly open the prison and let us out," the marine cultivator said. The devil cultivator also said, "Kid, quickly let us out. I want to start a massacre and kill all those bastards from the 3 great powers." Lin Feng directly destroyed the 3 cages. The sea race cultivator and the devil race cultivator quickly rushed out and joined the battle. The woman also walked out. "You're Feng Er?" the woman asked with a trembling voice. Lin Feng nodded heavily. "Mother, it's me." He let his mother suffer here. Feng Er is unfilial. Feng Er came to save Mother. Jilong Er's tears suddenly flowed out. Now, Jilong Er's heart was extremely complicated. She didn't expect her son to be able to come here. She also didn't expect her son to be so powerful. But now was not the time for mother and son to reminisce. Because the situation was still very dangerous, they had to leave quickly. Lin Feng said, "Mother, let's go out quickly. We'll talk after we get out." Jilong nodded and quickly flew out with Lin Feng. At this moment, the battle on the 9th level had reached a climax. Other than Lin Feng, Jilong Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, Evil Sovereign Saint, Marine Cultivator, and Devil Cultivator, there were 5 other cultivators who were previously imprisoned in the first mountain range. In total, there were 12 people. The 12 people were very strong, but the cultivators from the 3 great powers were also very strong. Lin Feng's 4 insect swarms were more or less eliminated, so the cultivators were now free. Hundreds of experts surrounded Lin Feng and the rest. Lin Feng and the rest wanted to rush out, but they were all forced back. The leader of the group was an expert who surpassed his realm, and his strength was very terrifying. Then, under his lead, hundreds of strong cultivators attacked together. Lin Feng and the others couldn't break out of the encirclement easily. Moreover, the most terrifying thing was that at this moment, a terrifying wave of energy came from the depths of the 9th level. Then, 3 experts who surpassed their realm flew out from the depths of the 9th level. Obviously, there were 4 experts who surpassed their realm in this place. And then there were the other hundreds of top experts. So many experts, how powerful was that? How could Lin Feng and the rest be a match for so many people? If they waited for the other 3 experts who surpassed their realm to kill them, it would be even worse for Lin Feng and the rest. The oceanic race cultivator cursed loudly, "Mother asterisk cur. After being imprisoned here for so many years, my cultivation has dropped tremendously. Otherwise, why would I be afraid of these bastards?" The devil cultivator said, "Let's break out with all our strength. We won't be able to break through. They have too many strong cultivators, and if the 4 transcendents work together, we'll definitely die." An expert from the human clan said, "What do we do now?" Another person said in a deep voice. Everyone's expression was unsightly. Lin Feng looked at the primal chaos in the distance. He frowned slightly and thought for a moment. Then, he said, "How about we go into that primal chaos world?" The others frowned. No one knew what was inside the primal chaos world formed by the 9 heavens god mourning coffin. That was because the primal chaos worlds were very mysterious. Even the cultivators of the 3 great factions could not explore the secrets of those primal chaos worlds. If they rashly entered those primal chaos worlds, they would risk their lives. In the past, the 3 great factions had lost many experts to explore those primal chaos worlds. And that was the primal chaos world below. This was the 9th level. The number 9 was very ominous. No one knew how dangerous the primal chaos world on the 9th level was. If Lin Feng and the rest took the risk to enter, it would be too dangerous. But now, they seem to have no other choice. P.S. Today's update will be 4, tomorrow's update will be 6, and today's update will be made up for today's update. End of chapter. Chapter 5704. Everyone knew that it was extremely dangerous to enter the primal chaos world, but Lin Feng and the others couldn't think of any other way. Lin Feng said, "Everyone, let's enter the primal chaos world now. It's better than staying outside." The rest of the people looked uncertain. They were also wondering if there was any other way. Lin Feng didn't care about what they thought. He, his mother, the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint quickly flew towards the primal chaos world. The marine race cultivator cursed, "What are you waiting for? We'll definitely die if we're surrounded. Let's hurry over." The marine race cultivator quickly followed by the devil race cultivator. The other experts also knew that this was their only choice. Therefore, they gritted their teeth and quickly flew over. The 4 quasi-transcendents and hundreds of experts all chased after Lin Feng and the others. However, they weren't able to stop Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng and the others quickly entered the primal chaos world. When they entered, Lin Feng discovered something terrifying. A huge black hole appeared and swallowed everyone. Everything was too sudden. They didn't even have time to react. F***CK. What's going on? Are we going to die here as soon as we enter? The marine race cultivator wailed. Said the cultivator. Lin Feng and the others sensed a powerful strength surround them. In the next moment, they felt themselves being flung out. When they reappeared, they were in a forest. This forest was also shrouded in chaos chi. It was extremely strange. Everyone stood up and sized up their surroundings. However, they didn't find anything. There wasn't even the sound of insects or birds. The marine race cultivator asked, "What do you think this place is?" The human race cultivator said, "The area covered by primal chaos chi is very strange. It's hard to guess what this place is, but I think it's a special small world formed inside the 9 heaven god mourning coffin." At that moment, a cultivator with wings on his back said, "The universe is created and destroyed. The 9 heavens god-burying coffin once buried a universe, so it's possible that some unknown small worlds, such as spaces, are formed inside." After hearing this, Lin Feng's face was filled with shock. The 9 heaven god mourning coffin buried a universe? Didn't that sound too unbelievable? One had to know that even if an era was destroyed, the universe would still exist. For example, the 9 continents universe had existed for 3,000 eras. Every time an epoch was destroyed, the universe would still exist. Then, new life forms, new races, and new hope would appear in the universe. Thus, a new epoch would begin. If the 9 heaven god mourning coffin really did bury a universe, this was too inconceivable. The origins of these people were not ordinary. They might know a lot of secrets. Therefore, some things might sound unbelievable, but they weren't necessarily false. Therefore, Lin Feng asked, "Seniors, do you know the specific origin of the 9 heaven god mourning coffin?" The cultivator with wings said, "I heard that the 9 heaven god mourning coffin was created by countless experts, one after another. It took them countless years and years to create it. It's said that the 9 heaven god mourning coffin was created to bury a universe." "What do you mean by burying a universe?" Lin Feng asked, puzzled. "I don't know about that." The cultivator with wings said. At this time, another creature with blood-red scales said, "Actually, The current Nine-Heaven God Mourning Coffin isn't as powerful as it used to be. The old Nine-Heaven God Mourning Coffin was truly terrifying. He looked at Lin Feng and asked, "Do you know why the Nine-Heaven God Mourning Coffin chose the Black Fog tribe?" Lin Feng shook his head. He really didn't know about this. Because the Nine-Heaven God Mourning Coffin's weapon spirit was severely injured. If it wanted to recover, it needed to continuously devour cultivators' fates, flesh, and blood. This was an extremely long process. Therefore, many experts were captured and devoured over the long years. This method was extremely cruel. Ordinary factions wouldn't do something like this. Of course, even if they wanted to, they didn't have the ability to do so. However, the Black Fog tribe was different. They were strong and evil enough. They were a perfect match for the Nine-Heaven God Mourning Coffin's weapon spirit. Lin Feng said, "So, you were captured like this too?" The cultivator nodded. "That's right." Then, he sighed and said, "Over the long years, we've seen too many people die. I never thought that we'd have a chance to fight." The others couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Lin Feng said, "Then let's rest here first. You have to quickly recover your strength. That way, you'll have a better chance of getting out alive." Everyone nodded. They had just escaped and experienced an intense battle. Therefore, they were quite tired and needed to rest. Lin Feng knew that they had been trapped here for so long that they definitely didn't have any cultivation resources. Therefore, Lin Feng took out many high-grade immortal stones. Each person received 100 million high-grade immortal stones. They could refine the stones and recover their strength. At the same time, Lin Feng gave them some healing pills. He let them use the pills to recover. These people didn't stand on ceremony with Lin Feng. They put away the things that Lin Feng gave them and scattered. They began to consume the pills and refine the immortal stones. They used the pills to quickly recover their strength. The Emperor Brush and the others also scattered to recover. Jilonger wasn't in a hurry to recover her strength. She had too many things to say to Lin Feng. Of course, she was most concerned about Lin Beitian because he was her beloved husband. "Feng, how's your father now?" Jilonger asked Lin Feng. Lin Feng sighed and said, "My father was infected with a seed demon. He came here a few years before me to find my mother, but when I arrived at the buried god Starfield, he didn't come here. I suspect that his body has some problems because of the seed demon. That's why he couldn't come here." Seed demon. Jilonger's heart trembled. She naturally knew what that word meant. Once a cultivator was infected with a seed demon, they would completely lose themselves and become a slave of the imperial family behind the scenes. They would even forget their family, children, and lovers. Chapter 5705. Right now, his mother was very worried about his father's safety. Of course, Lin Feng was also aware of this. In fact, Lin Feng was also very worried about his father's safety. But now, he didn't know where his father was, nor did he know the specific situation. Even if he wanted to find his father, he would have to wait until he was free. Obviously, there was no way to find him now. Lin Feng said, "Mother, you don't have to worry too much. Father's cultivation is so strong. Even if he was planted with a devil, there won't be a problem. I believe that father will be able to suppress the devil in his body." If Jilonger said that she wasn't worried, of course it was impossible. Jilonger sighed and said, "I hope so." Next, the mother and son talked about a lot of things, such as the many things that happened to Lin Feng over the years. Jilonger listened silently from the side. Lin Feng skipped a lot of dangerous things and talked about more interesting things. But how could Jilonger not know how many dangers Lin Feng had experienced over the years? Otherwise, how could his cultivation be so strong? The mother and son talked for a few hours. Jilonger went into seclusion to recover. Lin Feng also sat cross-legged and swallowed a lot of immortal stones to recover his magic power. Time slowly passed. These imprisoned experts were recovering bit by bit. However, it was not something that could be done in a short period of time if they wanted to restore their strength to their peak. So, after they woke up, although their strength had recovered a lot, there was still a big gap between their peak. However, their strength had temporarily reached the peak value that they could reach at present. This was already quite good. Then the group planned to explore this place to see if there was a way out. This place was the small world inside the ninth layer. It was definitely not simple. Then they carefully walked into the depths. They saw a huge black energy ball in the depths of this chaotic world. That huge black energy ball was suspended in midair, distorting the void. Lin Feng didn't know what that black energy ball was, but he could feel the aura it contained. It made his hair stand on end. At this moment, a chilling aura surged out from the huge ball of black energy. Then, a sinister voice rang out, "You outsiders are quite capable. You actually managed to come to the ninth floor and even released everyone. If I'm not mistaken, everything was planned by that human brat, right?" When they heard this voice, Lin Feng and the others' faces couldn't help but sink slightly. Whose voice is that? Lin Feng and the others frowned. Very soon, Lin Feng and the others thought of the same person at the same time. That was the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin. Because, from beginning to end, the weapon spirit of the Ninth Heaven God Mourning Coffin hadn't shown up yet. The winged cultivator had told him how powerful the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin was. After all, the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin was a terrifying existence that had devoured the universe. As for how powerful the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin was, it was even harder to guess. Even though the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin might be in a weak state right now, it was still impossible to guess. But that was only relatively speaking. Compared to when it was at its peak, its current strength might not be as strong as it was at that time. However, it was still terrifying compared to others. "Are you the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin?" Lin Feng asked. "That's right. I'm the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin." The voice from the black ball of light rang out again. After hearing the confirmation, Lin Feng and the others' faces turned ugly. This guy was really the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin. This was going to be troublesome. However, when they thought about how their combined strength wasn't weak, everyone calmed down a little after a short period of shock. If they really fought, it might not be completely hopeless. There's no need for us to fight to the death, right? It's already the end of the epoch. Why don't we form a good relationship and you let us go? If you want us to do anything for you in the future, we can agree. If I want others to work for me, there are naturally countless clans that are willing to work for me. For example, the Black Fog clan, the Black Robe clan, and even many creatures from the world of the Black Hand are willing to work for me. I don't need you at all. The weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin was not lying. There were indeed many clans and forces that were willing to work for the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin. After all, the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin's origin was too extraordinary. Working for it should be able to gain a lot of benefits. It was basically impossible for Lin Feng and the others to work with it and let them go. However, Lin Feng still wanted to know the origin of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin. Legend had it that the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin had buried an entire universe. Was this legend true? It sounded too inconceivable. Therefore, Lin Feng did have a lot of questions to ask the weapon spirit of the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin. Lin Feng asked, "Rumor has it that the Nine Heaven God Mourning Coffin buried an entire universe. Is that rumor true?" The spirit of the coffin said, "Of course the rumor is true." Lin Feng and the others were mentally prepared after hearing the Nine Heavens God Mourning Coffin's confession. But he was still shocked. Burying an entire universe was truly inconceivable. One should know that this universe had already experienced 3,000 eras and had yet to be destroyed. However, the Nine Heaven God Mourning Coffin had buried an entire universe. Which universe did it bury? Lin Feng actually had some understanding of the history of the universe. For example, the current 4 universes were originally one universe. The 4 universes were not separated by the laws of heaven and earth. Instead, it was artificially divided. Although the cultivators of the 4 great cosmoses were talking about the 4 great cosmoses now, they were still talking about the 4 great cosmoses. But in reality, in essence, there were no longer 4 universes. They were still one universe. The so-called 4 universes were just 4 different parts of the universe. Lin Feng was naturally very curious about the universe that the Nine Heaven God Mourning Coffin had buried. Lin Feng asked, Which universe did the nine-heaven god mourning coffin bury? M. Chapter 5706. Why should I tell you? The weapon spirit sneered and said, Don't try to get anything out of me. I won't tell you anything. Besides, you don't have the right to know those secrets. Lin Feng was speechless. This guy was really full of himself. But who asked him to be so awesome? Said Lin Feng. Back then, you were extremely strong. But now you can't be compared to back then. I've heard that back then, you were as strong as the door of everlasting life in the supreme divine court, but now it seems like you're much weaker than the door of everlasting life in the supreme divine court, said Lin Feng. After hearing Lin Feng's words, the weapon spirit's face turned gloomy. He said coldly, Boy, what do you mean by that? Are you trying to anger me? I think you're dying too slowly, so you want to die faster, right? If that's what you want, I don't mind fulfilling your wish right now. Lin Feng said, I just said something that everyone knows, and you're already flustered and exasperated? Your temperament is too bad. It's not surprising that you're like this. The spirit of the coffin sneered and said, You don't know what's good for you. I don't want to waste my time talking to you. I'll kill all of you right now and devour your flesh and blood to increase my cultivation. As soon as he finished speaking, the nine heavens god mourning coffin started attacking Lin Feng and the others. Claws of destruction condensed in the void and attacked Lin Feng and the others fiercely. Do it, Lin Feng said in a deep voice. The rest of the people nodded in agreement. Then, they started to attack one after another. All kinds of attacks were formed and blasted towards the incoming world-destroying claw. Lin Feng took out the sky-splitting axe, a powerful ancient weapon. Lin Feng swung the axe and shattered the claw of destruction. The others also had extraordinary skills. They destroyed the claw of destruction that was attacking them. The weapon spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin said, You guys are quite capable. Take another attack from me. As soon as he finished speaking, a huge whirlpool condensed in the void and distorted the surrounding void. It seemed to be able to freeze everything in the world, even time. After Lin Feng and the others were enveloped by the whirlpool, their bodies were greatly restricted. Lin Feng's face immediately turned ugly. The others' faces also turned ugly. The oceanic race cultivator said in a serious voice, What a powerful skill. No wonder you're the weapon spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin. Of course, in the past, you people wouldn't even be able to withstand one of my attacks. This time, the end of the epic is a great reincarnation cycle. Logically speaking, the universe should also be destroyed and a new universe should be born. At that time, I can devour the destroyed universe and my cultivation will return to its peak. However, you won't have the chance to look up at my supreme godly appearance. The weapon spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin sneered. Lin Feng said in a deep voice, Back then, those people forged the nine heavens god mourning coffin to devour the universe. They did it with good intentions, didn't they? That's right. They did forge the nine heavens god mourning coffin with good intentions. Back then, they wanted to destroy those undying existences. So, they had to bury that universe and create a new one. So, generation after generation of experts joined the ranks of those forging the nine heavens god mourning coffin. Finally, they forged the nine heavens god mourning coffin. Then, that universe and those terrifying existences were buried by the nine heavens god mourning coffin, and a new universe was born. Have all the imprints of that universe been erased? Lin Feng asked. Not really. For example, the door of everlasting life and the godly court. Aren't they still there? Lin Feng was very surprised when he heard that. Actually, Lin Feng had always been curious about the door of everlasting life and the godly court. Lin Feng only knew that the door of everlasting life and the godly court were extremely terrifying. There were countless fortunes inside, so they must have had an incredible origin. However, Lin Feng hadn't thought that their origin might be even more extraordinary than he had imagined. In your universe, how many universes have changed since then? Lin Feng asked. The spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin sneered. It didn't want to tell Lin Feng that. You're asking too many questions. I should send you to hell. The spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin sneered. Have you forgotten your original intention? Those people wanted to create a harmonious world, but you killed the innocent. You're obviously going against their wishes, Lin Feng said. The spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin sneered. They're already dead. What do they have to do with me? I still have to live. Then, its tone became even colder. I don't want to waste my time talking to you. I'm going to devour you now. After that, the spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin started controlling the whirlpool to attack Lin Feng and the others. The huge whirlpool kept closing. Lin Feng and the others tried to rush out of the whirlpool, but they failed no matter how many times they tried. The whirlpool was too terrifying. It wanted to devour Lin Feng and the others. Of course, the main reason was that the spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin was too terrifying. Now, Lin Feng and the others didn't seem to have any way to resist the spirit of the coffin. This was troublesome. At that critical moment, Lin Feng suddenly sensed that the mysterious box was shaking violently. When Lin Feng sensed the mysterious box's movements, he was astonished. Lin Feng thought it was Emo's body inside the box, but then he realized it wasn't Emo's body because Emo had returned from divine damnation. Lin Feng didn't know who the body inside the box belonged to. However, the mysterious metal box was extremely terrifying. Lin Feng knew this very well. Now that the mysterious metal box emitted such violent waves, what did this mean? Could the mysterious metal box deal with the nine heavens god mourning coffin? Thinking about this, Lin Feng quickly summoned the mysterious metal box. When the mysterious metal box was summoned by Lin Feng, it floated above the mysterious metal box. The mysterious box floated above Lin Feng, and a terrifying blood-red strength emerged from it. The blood-red energy directly shattered the huge whirlpool formed by the ninth heaven god mourning coffin's artifact spirit. End of chapter. Chapter 5707. Everyone was shocked to see Lin Feng's mysterious iron box shatter the twisting black vortex. They knew how powerful the twisting black vortex was, but Lin Feng's black iron box could shatter it in an instant. It was like a dream. The experts stared at Lin Feng's mysterious iron box carefully. Many of them were extremely shocked. They might have some understanding of the mysterious iron box's origin. Therefore, they couldn't calm down when they saw the mysterious iron box. The weapon spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin also showed an expression of disbelief. It should have recognized the mysterious iron box's origin. Only those who truly knew the origin of the mysterious iron box knew how terrifying it was. Lin Feng knew that the mysterious iron box was terrifying. But to be honest, Lin Feng didn't have a deep understanding of the mysterious iron box. So, how terrifying was the mysterious iron box? Lin Feng really didn't know. You actually got this thing? The weapon spirit of the nine heavens god mourning coffin shouted in disbelief. At this moment, his expression was unsettled as he thought of something. He originally thought that the corpse fragments in the mysterious iron box couldn't have survived until now, but they did. What did this mean? His heart trembled slightly. He thought of the origin of the corpse fragments. Even at his peak, he didn't dare to talk about it. Now, after so many years, it still existed in the world. This kind of shock was indescribable with words. The only fortunate thing was that the power of the corpse fragments in the mysterious iron box couldn't be fully released. If the power of the corpse fragments could be fully released, it was not something he could contend against. He also thought of some things that the corpse fragments had experienced before they died. Of course, he only heard about them from others. Those top experts back then were also very secretive when they talked about the corpse fragments before they died. At this moment, the mysterious iron box was floating above Lin Feng. Lin Feng wasn't in a hurry to open it, because Lin Feng felt that there was still a chance for things to turn around. Lin Feng looked at the weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god mourning coffin and said, "Do you think it's necessary for us to keep fighting? If you continue fighting, I'll open the mysterious box, and you should know what will happen." "Are you threatening me?" The weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god mourning coffin asked with a gloomy look. Lin Feng replied, "Of course, I'm not threatening you. I'm just giving you a piece of advice. I believe that you're a smart person and know what to do." At that moment, the weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god mourning coffin was in a terrible mood. He didn't want to let Lin Feng and the others go. He wanted to devour Lin Feng and the others. This would allow him to recover a lot of his strength. Furthermore, now that he had a grudge against Lin Feng and the others, he didn't know what would happen in the future. Therefore, after taking on such a grudge, he should kill the other party. If he let the tiger go back to the mountain, it might leave behind future troubles. However, it seemed to be more difficult to make Lin Feng and the others stay because Lin Feng had the mysterious iron box. Because he knew too much about the corpse in the mysterious iron box, he didn't dare to risk his life against Lin Feng. If Lin Feng really opened the mysterious iron box, when the time came, even if it was him, he might be destroyed. The weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin knew this very well. The weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin said with a gloomy look, "All right, I'll let you go." After hearing what the weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin said, Lin Feng couldn't help but let out a long breath. Finally, he could leave. The weapon spirit of the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin condensed a void door and said, "Go through the void door and you can leave this place." Lin Feng and the others nodded and didn't continue to stay there. They went through the void door, and when they reappeared, they were already in the starry sky world outside. They saw the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin floating in the void world from afar. The ninth heaven god Morning Coffin was so huge, so ancient, and so terrifying. At that moment, the battle over there was still not over. Earth-shattering shouts resounded through the clouds. Many cultivators in the distance were watching the battle. Those cultivators had come to watch the show after hearing some news. However, this kind of show wasn't very enjoyable. If they got too close, they might be affected and die without a burial place. Therefore, they only dared to watch the battle from afar. The battle over there had nothing to do with Lin Feng and the others. After they came out, Lin Feng and the others wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. The Oceanic Race Cultivator said, "Little brother, thank you so much for this time. If it wasn't for you, we might have died." The others also thanked Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng was very polite. He was actually very happy to be able to meet so many experts. The group of cultivators separated from Lin Feng and the others and quickly left this place. Lin Feng and the others didn't stay either. They quickly left. Lin Feng and the others left the buried god's starfield and arrived on a planet with life in another starfield. They planned to rest for a while. The changes in the buried god's starfield had spread to the other starfields. Later, Lin Feng heard about some of the things that happened over there. It was said that the foreign creatures were locked in a fierce battle with the Black Fog Race, the Black Robe Race, and the cultivators from the Mastermind's world. Both sides suffered heavy losses. In the end, the battle ended with both sides suffering heavy losses. The foreign creatures who survived obtained many benefits and quickly left the buried god's starfield. Many cultivators who escaped from the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin also left the buried god's starfield. There were many cultivators who escaped from the ninth heaven god Morning Coffin, and they were very powerful. These cultivators were very active now. It seemed like they had formed a new alliance. Lin Feng didn't know what this alliance was called. He didn't pay attention to this matter either. End of chapter. Chapter 5708. Because Lin Feng's mother's condition was not particularly good, Lin Feng and the others had been cultivating in seclusion on this life planet for the next few years. After spending about 5 years, Lin Feng's mother, Jilong, finally recovered about 70 to 60%. Next, she would need to slowly recuperate. Lin Feng and his mother talked about the news of the Sovereign Emperor clan's ancestral land, because Lin Feng had always wanted to go to the Sovereign Emperor clan's ancestral land to awaken his bloodline. If he could awaken his bloodline several times in a row, it would be an extremely important matter for him. At that time, his bloodline would awaken even more powerful abilities. Now that the world extermination battle was about to arrive, the more powerful methods he grasped, the greater his chances of survival. Jilong said, originally, there were 2 ancestral lands, one in the heaven realm, but it's probably abandoned now and can't baptize your bloodline. The other ancestral land is the first ancestral land. In the primal chaos mysterious yellow world, the first ancestral land should be able to undergo a bloodline baptism. Lin Feng's face suddenly revealed an extremely shocked expression. He didn't care too much about the abandoned ancestral land in the heaven realm, What he cared about was the ancestral land in the primal chaos mysterious yellow world. Because Lin Feng remembered the ancestral land of the Undying clan. It was also in the primal chaos mysterious yellow world. Lin Feng nodded. If he wanted to go to the primal chaos mysterious yellow world now, it would not be an easy thing, because he would need to go to the heaven realm first. Lin Feng was still unable to go to the heaven realm. Lin Feng had 3 important things to do next. The first was to inquire about his father's news. The second was to go to the dragon world. The third was to go to the devil world. Lin Feng planned to subdue the dragon world and the devil world as soon as possible. But Lin Feng knew that this matter would be difficult, but no matter how difficult it was, he still had to do it. Because whether it was the dragon world or the devil world, they were extremely terrifying. The power they controlled was unimaginable. If he could control these 2 worlds, then for Lin Feng, it would be an extremely important matter. Lin Feng now planned to return to the Undying world. After returning to the Undying realm, he would set out to do these 3 things. Lin Feng and the others didn't continue to stay here. They set off to return to the Undying world. 15 years later, Lin Feng and the others finally returned to the Undying world. The Undying realm was currently in a peaceful period, and its development was quite good. Moreover, the origin of the Undying realm had also recovered well in recent years. This made Lin Feng extremely happy. After Lin Feng and the others returned to the Undying realm, Lin Feng's women knew that their mother-in-law had also come. All of them were nervous and perturbed. They were afraid that their mother-in-law would not like them. Seeing Lin Feng having so many women, Jilong was not surprised. She had asked Lin Feng about his relationship before. Then, Lin Feng told his mother about the many women he had. Regarding the matter of Lin Feng finding a lot of daughters-in-law for her, Jilong did not feel that there was anything wrong with it. From a wife's point of view, she naturally hoped that her husband would be loyal to her, as long as she was the only one. But from a mother's point of view, finding a few more daughters-in-law and having children as soon as possible was a very urgent matter. After all, Lin Feng's bloodline was so powerful, it was really not easy for him to have children. With more women, the chances of having children would be greater. After returning, Lin Feng sent people to find the whereabouts of his father. He didn't know when he would be able to find clues. Then, Lin Feng planned to head to the dragon realm. But Lin Feng did not know how to get to the dragon realm, because the dragon realm was too mysterious. The location was indeed difficult to find. Fortunately, Lin Feng's mother knew the location of the dragon realm. Not only the dragon realm, the ancient star map to the devil realm, demon realm, heaven realm, and other places, Lin Feng's mother knew all about it. She told Lin Feng these methods. Lin Feng, the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil sovereign Holy Sage rushed to the dragon realm. The dragon realm was one of the top 10 greater realms among the 3,000 greater realms. At its peak, it once ruled the myriad realms. Even the 3 paramount realms respected the dragon realm. Even the wasteland world was filled with reverence for the dragon realm. But the current dragon realm was far from the dragon realm of that time. The main reason was that the ancestral dragon was missing. In addition, no new true dragon emperor was born. Therefore, the current dragon realm was in a more severe state of decline. But as the saying goes, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. Even if the current dragon realm was far from the dragon realm of the past, it was still very powerful. Lin Feng felt that perhaps the dragon realm was not that different from the undead realm. After all, the composition of the living beings in the dragon realm was not the same as the undead realm. The dragon realm mainly consisted of the dragon race, and the dragon race's talent was simply too heaven-defying. The racial composition of the undead realm was more complicated. Some races were more talented than the dragon race, but these races were too rare. The talents of most races could not be compared to the dragon race. Therefore, the dragon race in the dragon realm must be very terrifying. The journey to the dragon realm was still relatively long. Lin Feng's mother estimated the time for Lin Feng before Lin Feng set off. If everything went well, it would take at least 7 to 8 years to reach the dragon realm. If they stopped on the way, or if something happened, it might take more than a decade to reach the dragon realm. But fortunately, there weren't many terrifying magnetic fields on the way to the dragon realm. If there were so many terrifying magnetic fields, the situation would have been even worse. Without those magnetic fields, the situation would be much better. The Xinyuan starry sky ancient ship quickly flew through the void. Lin Feng spent most of his time in seclusion. Sometimes, they would land on some life planets to rest for a while. After all, Lin Feng and the others couldn't always sail through the cold and dry starry sky world. This kind of environment was a torture to the cultivator's mind. Sometimes, they needed to relax. P.S. I originally wanted to make up for yesterday's chapter, but the new storyline is about to start. I haven't thought about how to write the Dragon Realm chapter yet. Therefore, I won't make up this chapter today. I'll leave it for tomorrow. Today, I have to think about the content of the Dragon Realm chapter. End of this chapter. Chapter 5709. The ancient starship Xinyuan arrived at the Heavenly Dragon Star area. The Heavenly Dragon Star area was adjacent to the star area where the Dragon Realm was located. If they crossed the Heavenly Dragon Star area, they would arrive at the Dragon Realm. Lin Feng and the others arrived at the Heavenly Dragon Star, the main star of the Heavenly Dragon Star area. It was said that this star was a barren star in the beginning. Later, a heavenly dragon came. That heavenly dragon founded many ancient cities and moved many races and creatures from other places. As a result, the Heavenly Dragon Star slowly developed. Now, the Heavenly Dragon Star had become an extremely prosperous planet of life. Although it was not a macro world, it was much more prosperous than many macro worlds. The Heavenly Dragon Star was bustling with people coming and going. After arriving at the Heavenly Dragon Star, Lin Feng and the others saw dragons flying in the void from time to time. Those dragons did not transform into human bodies. Their huge bodies gave people a shocking feeling. Because this place was relatively close to the Dragon Realm, there were indeed more dragons here. Lin Feng and the others planned to rest here for a few days and then inquire about some things in the Dragon Realm. Lin Feng and the others did not know much about the specific situation of the Dragon Realm. They did not know how the Dragon Realm was doing now. The only thing Lin Feng knew was that since the fall of the 9th True Dragon Great Emperor, the Dragon Realm seemed to have become extremely chaotic. Because the Dragon Realm was in an era where dragons had no leader. Therefore, many top dragons in the Dragon Realm wanted to rule the Dragon Realm, to become the Lord of the Dragon Realm, but because they did not have the True Dragon token, they could not convince the public. Because only the person who had the True Dragon token could become the real Lord of the Dragon Realm. This was also the origin of the disputes. Then, the major forces fought fiercely, but presumably, after so many years, they should have been divided into some different factions. This was the information Lin Feng wanted to inquire about. Lin Feng wanted to inquire about the specific division of the forces in the Dragon Realm. He had a good idea. Some preparatory work still had to be done. This was called knowing yourself and your enemy, and you would never be defeated. Of course, Lin Feng also knew that this trip would definitely not go smoothly. Even if he was indeed the master of the Dragon Realm in name, there would still be many forces that would not recognize Lin Feng as their master. In fact, this kind of thing was very normal when he thought about it. They were originally a high and mighty race. Suddenly, a human cultivator came and wanted to become the master of the Dragon Realm. Of course, these dragons would not be willing. Lin Feng and the others went to look for ancient cities. If they wanted to gather information, they naturally had to go to those ancient cities. There was a huge battle ahead. Demonic energy churned as dozens of heavenly demons besieged 3 cultivators. The 3 cultivators being besieged were 2 men and 1 woman. The 2 men were extremely tall and burly, almost 3 meters in height. Their blood and chi surged. It was obvious that they were cultivators with extremely powerful bloodlines. As for that woman, she was also very tall. Lin Feng estimated that the woman was about 1.9 meters tall. Moreover, her figure belonged to the kind of woman who was rather voluptuous. Her face was absolutely beautiful. She was simply a foreigner. It was rare to see a woman of such height, but she was really sexy. Therefore, Lin Feng couldn't help but take a few more glances. The Emperor Brush said, "They should be from the Dragon Clan." Lin Feng nodded. He did sense the Dragon Clan's bloodline, but he didn't know which clan they belonged to. The heavenly demons were extremely powerful. The leader of the heavenly demons said coldly, "Hand over the True Dragon ancient scroll. Otherwise, you will die without a burial place." The woman sneered and said, "You want us to hand over the true dragon ancient scroll with just the few of you? How laughable." The battle between the two sides was extremely intense. Although the heavenly demons were very powerful, the three cultivators from the dragon clan were also very powerful. Therefore, it was too difficult for the heavenly demons to defeat the three cultivators from the dragon clan. The two sides were evenly matched. Neither side could do anything to the other. Therefore, the heavenly demons took out many forbidden weapons. These forbidden weapons were very terrifying. They wanted to use these forbidden weapons to kill the three cultivators from the dragon clan. The three cultivators from the dragon clan were suppressed very badly. Their faces became gloomy. They didn't hold back anymore and transformed into their true forms. Then, they turned into three golden dragons. The Golden Dragon clan was one of the top clans in the Dragon clan. They were very powerful. When they transformed into their true forms, their battle strength increased greatly. The three golden colossal dragons immediately began their massacre. Many heavenly demons were killed by the golden dragons. Only 4 or 5 heavenly demons escaped. The three golden dragons didn't chase after the heavenly demons. They transformed back into their human forms. Then, they looked at Lin Feng and the other three who were watching the battle not far away. Those fellows seemed to have overheard the heavenly demons talking about the ancient scroll of true dragons. Should I kill them? One of the cultivators from the dragon clan said, his eyes flashing coldly. The female cultivator from the dragon clan was clearly the leader of the three cultivators. She frowned slightly, as if she was considering the matter. In the end, she shook her head and said, "Forget it. Let's leave quickly." The three cultivators from the dragon clan quickly left. Lin Feng and the others waited for them to leave before leaving as well. 3 days later, Lin Feng and the others saw a huge ancient city. This ancient city was the #1 ancient city on the Heavenly Dragon planet, Heavenly Dragon City. Heavenly Dragon City emitted an ancient aura. A large number of dragons were active in Heavenly Dragon City. Moreover, it was said that the current city lord of Heavenly Dragon City was a pure-blooded heavenly dragon. It should be known that pure-blooded heavenly dragons were extremely rare. Moreover, pure-blooded heavenly dragons were ancient dragons second only to the true dragon clan. This clan's bloodline was extremely terrifying. Moreover, their bloodline had passed down many top-notch dragon clan divine abilities. Once these top-notch dragon clan divine abilities were used, they could definitely turn the heavens upside down. For a long time, the Heavenly Dragon clan had been ruling the Heavenly Dragon Star region. Moreover, it was said that the Heavenly Dragon clan here had a very close relationship with the Heavenly Dragon clan of the Dragon World. It was estimated that they originally belonged to the same bloodline. However, later on, some cultivators from the Heavenly Dragon clan came out to develop and then founded the Heavenly Dragon Star. Lin Feng and the others found a place to stay. After tidying up and eating, they went to scout for information. There were many large trading companies on the Heavenly Dragon Star. These trading companies often sold all kinds of information. Lin Feng and the others went to a trading company to scout for information. The one who received Lin Feng and the others was a female cultivator. What surprised Lin Feng was that this female cultivator was also a cultivator from the Dragon clan. However, this female cultivator's dragon bloodline was not particularly strong. This female cultivator was not a pure-blooded dragon. Chapter 57:10. In fact, even in the dragon world, pure-blooded dragons were relatively rare. After all, it was very difficult to maintain a pure bloodline. Most of the dragons were mixed blood dragons. The female dragon cultivator smiled and asked, "May I know what information you have come here to inquire about?" Lin Feng replied, "We're here to inquire about the dragon world." The female dragon cultivator was surprised and asked, "Are you planning to go to the dragon world?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "Yes, we're planning to go there." The female dragon cultivator said, "If you want to go to the dragon world, I'd advise you to give up on that idea. The dragon world is in a state of chaos right now, and many factions have left to avoid this conflict." Lin Feng knew about the chaos in the dragon world, and it seemed that the dragon world had become even more chaotic. Lin Feng asked, "Is the war in the dragon world reaching its climax?" The dragon woman nodded and said, Ever since the world changed, and the dragon world's self-sealed ancestor came out, the experts of the dragon world began to fight for the position of master of the dragon world. This is because only the master of the dragon world can communicate with the world origin of the dragon world. You should know that the dragon world is one of the top 10 great worlds among the 3,000 great worlds. Its power is unimaginable, and the world origin of the dragon world is also unimaginable. Being able to communicate with the world origin of the dragon world is an extremely important matter for a cultivator or the power behind them. The dragon world is now divided into 5 major factions. The first is the Dragon Clan led by the Golden Dragon Clan. The second is the Dragon Clan led by the Winged Dragon Clan. The third is the Dragon Clan led by the Heavenly Dragon Clan. The fourth is the Dragon Clan led by the Evil Dragon Clan. The fifth is the Dragon Clan led by the Ancient Dragon Clan. These 5 factions have formed their own alliances and have been fighting against each other for the past few years. That's why the dragon world has fallen into a period of great turmoil. If you rashly go to the dragon world now, you might get involved in this war. When the time comes, you might die. That's why I'd advise you to think twice if you want to go to the dragon world. When Lin Feng heard that, he nodded and said, "Thank you for your advice." After a pause, Lin Feng asked, "Do you know anything about the true dragon race? In addition, wasn't the Eastern Divine Dragon race also very powerful? Why didn't you establish your own faction in the dragon world?" Ever since the 9th True Dragon Emperor died, there has been no news of him at all. I don't know if there are still any members of the True Dragon race. In fact, in the early years, many forces were looking for the whereabouts of the True Dragon race. They wanted to use the True Dragon race's power to unify the dragon world, but they couldn't find any true dragon race cultivators. That's why it's possible that there are no living creatures left in the true dragon race. Of course, it's hard to say. Maybe some cultivators with the true dragon bloodline are in other places and don't want to get involved in this conflict. Oh. As for the Eastern Divine Dragon race, there are too few of them. Right now, there are only a few Eastern Divine Dragons. They are very powerful, but because there are too few of them, it's very difficult for them to establish a powerful faction. In that case, aside from the 5 great factions, there shouldn't be any other powerful factions in the dragon world, right? Lin Feng asked. The female dragon race cultivator replied, "It's hard to say because some factions might be hiding in the dark and have yet to appear. They might be waiting to reap the benefits. After all, there are many top-notch races in the dragon realm, and some top-notch races might appear at crucial times." Lin Feng nodded. He then thought of the True Dragon Scroll that he had heard about. He wondered what the True Dragon Ancient Scroll that the heavenly demons were talking about. Lin Feng was very curious about the Ancient Scroll of Truth. Thus, Lin Feng asked, "Have you heard of the True Dragon Scroll?" When she heard Lin Feng mention the True Dragon Scroll, a shocked expression appeared on her face. She stood up and asked, "How do you know about the True Dragon Scroll?" Lin Feng said, "I saw it in a Taoist scripture." The dragon girl nodded and said, "The True Dragon Scroll is a top-notch legacy passed down by the True Dragon race. It's said that there are 9 immortal scriptures in it. Apart from the 9 immortal scriptures, there are also many powerful divine abilities recorded in the True Dragon Scroll. If we can find the True Dragon Scroll, we'll be able to obtain these ancient legacies. Moreover, I've heard that the True Dragon Scroll is related to the 3 ancestral dragons' legacies. If we can find the True Dragon Scroll, we might be able to find the legacies of the 3 ancestral dragons. After all, the 3 ancestral dragons are very likely to be experts who surpass their realms." When Lin Feng heard that, he was astonished. Could it be that the Devamara had besieged the Dragon Clan to steal the True Dragon Scroll? Had they really obtained the True Dragon Scroll? Lin Feng wasn't sure. Even if they hadn't obtained the True Dragon Scroll, however, he must have obtained some information about the True Dragon Ancient Scroll. That was why the heavenly demons had attacked them. Lin Feng was naturally very interested in the legacies of the True Dragons. After all, the legacies of the True Dragons were very powerful. 9 immortal scriptures. If he could obtain these immortal scriptures, it would be a heaven-defying opportunity. Not to mention, there was also the opportunity of the ancestral dragons. The opportunities passed down by the ancestral dragons were even more terrifying. It was hard to imagine how powerful the ancestral dragon's legacies would be. After that, Lin Feng asked about the female cultivators of the dragon clan. After more than 2 hours, Lin Feng and the others left the trading house. They had obtained a lot of information from the trading house. Lin Feng and the others were in a very good mood. Lin Feng and the others rested in the heavenly dragon star area for a few days. Then, they rushed to the dragon realm. The ancient starship Xinyuan flew quickly in the starry sky world. When they were in the heavenly dragon star area, Lin Feng made some inquiries. If everything went well, it would take more than a year to travel from the heavenly dragon star area to the dragon realm. Half a year later, a cultivator entered the ancient starship Xinyuan. This cultivator had suffered serious injuries. It was a female cultivator. After seeing this cultivator, Lin Feng's face suddenly showed an extremely surprised expression. This female cultivator was the one they saw on the heavenly dragon star half a year ago. She was the one who was besieged by the heavenly demons. Chapter 57:11. Lin Feng really did not expect to see this woman in this place. Lin Feng remembered that she had 2 other companions, who were also cultivators of the golden dragon race. However, they did not come with her. Lin Feng guessed that her 2 companions were most likely dead. After seeing Lin Feng, the dragon race female cultivator showed a shocked expression. She should have remembered Lin Feng. "Let me hide for a while, I beg you," the dragon race female cultivator begged. She looked at Lin Feng with pitiful eyes. If Lin Feng chased her out now, it would be a terrible thing for her. She might even die in the starry sky world. Lin Feng said, "Go inside and rest." Hearing Lin Feng's words, the dragon race female cultivator immediately felt grateful. The dragon female cultivator immediately showed a grateful expression. Then, she quickly went into the cabin to rest. The Xinyuan ancient starry sky ship continued to fly in the starry sky world. Not long after, endless black gas appeared and covered the sky. The black gas quickly flew towards the Xinyuan ancient starry sky city and surrounded the ancient starry sky ship. The cultivators inside the black gas were cultivators of the heavenly devil race. This was because the cultivators of the heavenly devil race had once invaded the 9 continents' great world. They had caused great harm to the living beings of the 9 continents' great world. Therefore, Lin Feng did not have a good impression of the cultivators of the heavenly devil race. The reason why he had saved the female cultivator was not just because he had met her once. It was also not because she was a top-grade Atlantic horse. It was mainly because Lin Feng remembered that the heavenly devil race cultivators had mentioned the true dragon ancient scroll when they had besieged the female cultivator and her 2 companions. Lin Feng did not know if the dragon race female cultivator and her companions had really obtained the true dragon ancient scroll. Since these heavenly devil clan cultivators were chasing after them, it could be said that there was a problem. Perhaps the ancient true dragon scroll had really been obtained by them. Of course, Lin Feng also wanted the real dragon scroll. After the black fog wrapped around the Xinyuan ancient starry sky ship, powerful magic weapons quickly flew out of the black fog and bombarded the Xinyuan ancient starry sky ship. Following a series of violent collisions, the powerful magic treasures slammed into the defensive restrictions of the ancient starship Xinyuan. The defensive restrictions of the Xinyuan ancient starry sky ship repelled those magic weapons. The defensive restrictions on the Xinyuan starry sky ancient ship were no longer the same as before. This was because after Lin Feng obtained the stone scripture, he had strengthened many of the restrictions on the Xinyuan starry sky ancient ship. Naturally, its power had been greatly increased. However, what surprised Lin Feng the most was that the Xinyuan ancient starry sky ship was clearly in a stealthy state. How could the female dragon cultivator and these heavenly devil clan cultivators discover the ancient starry sky ship? Perhaps these people had mastered some special methods. After all, they were from an extremely powerful race. Therefore, it was not inconceivable for them to discover the Xinyuan ancient starry sky ship. One of the heavenly devil race cultivators said coldly, "The people inside, listen up. Hand that woman over to us, and we can spare your lives. If you don't cooperate with us honestly, you will die without a burial place." After hearing the other party's arrogant threat, Du Zhu cursed, "This group of bastards, do they think we are easy to bully? Did they find the wrong target to show off to? Lin Feng said, don't get angry with them. Then, Lin Feng directly activated the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship. All the array formations and restrictions on the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship were activated. Many of the offensive grand arrays were also activated. Then, the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship rushed forward. The Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship was a behemoth. If such a behemoth rushed forward, its power would be extremely terrifying. Moreover, all the array formations and restrictions on the ship had been activated. Therefore, when the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship rushed forward, it was like a falling star in the void. The collision force was unimaginably powerful. If they were hit by the ship, they would most likely die. The Heavenly Devil Race cultivators obviously did not expect the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship to suddenly rush towards them. The Heavenly Devil Race cultivators shouted, "Dodge! Hurry up and dodge!" They tried to dodge the oncoming Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship. Many of the Heavenly Devils did not succeed in dodging the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship's collision. The Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship ruthlessly slammed into those cultivators. Then, those Heavenly Devils were sent flying. Some of the stronger Heavenly Devils were not killed by the collision. They were only seriously injured. However, the weaker Heavenly Devils were directly smashed into pieces and died on the spot. Then, the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship rushed out of the encirclement of those Heavenly Devils. The Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship quickly flew forward. The Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship's speed was too fast. Although the Heavenly Devils were also very fast, there was still a big gap between them and the Xinyuan Ancient Starry Sky ship. It did not take long for the distance between the two sides to be pulled apart. One day later, the female dragon race cultivator walked out of the room. Her complexion had recovered a lot. It seemed that her injuries had recovered quite well. Lin Feng looked at the female dragon race cultivator and asked, "Where are your two companions?" The female dragon race cultivator's eyes suddenly flashed with hatred. She said in a low voice, "They were killed by the Heavenly Devil Race cultivators." Lin Feng nodded and asked, "Are those Heavenly Devil Race cultivators chasing you because of the true dragon ancient scroll?" The female dragon race cultivator remained silent. Lin Feng said, "What's wrong? You don't want to talk about this with me? I will repay you, but I can't give you the true dragon ancient scroll. The true dragon ancient scroll belongs to the dragon race, and you are a human. I hope you can understand." Lin Feng nodded. He did not want to force people to do things. Since the female dragon race cultivator did not want to talk about it, Lin Feng would not force her to talk about it. Lin Feng said, "You have recovered a lot from your injuries. You can leave now." After hearing Lin Feng's words, the female dragon clan cultivator's expression suddenly became a little uncertain. Lin Feng had already asked her to leave. However, the female dragon race cultivator did not leave. Instead, she put on a pitiful look and said, "You should be going to the dragon realm, right? We are going the same way. Let me stay here for a while. If you let me leave, I will definitely die at the hands of those heavenly devils." Chapter 57:12. Although Lin Feng wasn't a cold-hearted person, Lin Feng wasn't a saint either. This woman was under his protection and survived. He wanted the true dragon ancient scroll, but she didn't give it to him. This made Lin Feng a little angry. Moreover, this woman kept saying that the true dragon ancient scroll belonged to the dragon race, but it belonged to the true dragon race. It didn't belong to the golden dragon race. Do you think I'm a fool? Why are you still using these excuses to brush me off? When Lin Feng saw her pitiful face, he smiled icily and said, "You offended the Devamara clan. How could the Devamara clan let you off so easily? Do you think there will be more heavenly devil race cultivators waiting for you on the way? If I allow you to continue staying on my ancient ship, my relationship with the cultivators from the heavenly demon clan will only worsen. However, if you leave now, the grudge between me and the cultivators from the heavenly demon clan will come to an end. Bringing along a burden like you will not benefit me in the slightest. Do you think I will do something like that?" Lin Feng had always been a straightforward person, so he didn't hide some things. This was because Lin Feng didn't want to attack this woman. This wasn't Lin Feng's style. After all, this woman didn't have any enmity with Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng couldn't keep helping her for no reason. Lin Feng couldn't do it. Many times, one had to pay attention to benefits when doing things. Helping her this time was already extremely benevolent. The dragon female cultivator's expression was extremely ugly as she said, "Are you really so unreasonable? No matter what, we are old acquaintances. Just because we met once, we are old acquaintances?" Lin Feng looked at the dragon race female cultivator with a mocking gaze. He realized that this woman's skin was really thick. The dragon race female cultivator said, "I already said that I will give you benefits. Once we reach the dragon world, I will definitely give you many benefits. Once we reach the dragon world, the golden dragon race will protect you. If you want to do anything in the dragon world, it will be much more convenient with the golden dragon race's protection." Lin Feng smiled faintly and said, "There is no need for that. We don't need anyone's protection." The dragon race female cultivator angrily stomped her foot and said, "Are you really going to be so unreasonable?" Lin Feng said, "You speak as if I am an evil person. Don't forget that you are the one who brought me a lot of trouble. I saved you before, so you should be thanking me. Don't be so arrogant and say that I am unreasonable. Your words make me feel very funny. Do you know that? There is one more thing that you need to remember. The true dragon ancient scroll belongs to the true dragon race, not the golden dragon race. Don't think that the true dragon race's item belongs to the entire dragon race. That's just nonsense. You have the nerve to say such a thing. Do you think that everyone else is stupid? Or do you not know that you are stupid?" Upon hearing Lin Feng's words, the dragon race female cultivator was infuriated. However, she still did not leave Lin Feng's Xinyuan ancient ship. That was because Lin Feng's ancient ship was indeed extraordinary. She felt that if she took Lin Feng's ancient ship, she would be able to reach the dragon world smoothly. If he were to leave now and get surrounded by those heavenly demons, he would definitely die, said Lin Feng. "I'll give you 15 minutes to think about it," said Lin Feng. The dragon race female cultivator's expression changed. In the end, she gritted her teeth and said, "I agree." Next, the female dragon cultivator took out an extremely ancient scroll. It was a sheepskin scroll with an ancient aura. She handed it over to Lin Feng. Lin Feng opened the scroll. There were many dragon race characters on it. Lin Feng did not recognize these characters, but the Emperor Brush did. The Emperor Brush glanced at the scroll and said, "This scroll contains dozens of dragon race sacred arts. In addition, there are 2 immortal scriptures." Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical sovereign sage's eyes lit up. Actually, Lin Feng wanted immortal scriptures the most right now. Lin Feng was currently collecting all kinds of immortal scriptures to increase his Dao foundation. Therefore, immortal scriptures were extremely important to Lin Feng. The sacred arts of the dragon race were not that attractive to Lin Feng. After all, Lin Feng had many top-notch sacred arts. However, Lin Feng remembered that there were 9 immortal scriptures in the True Dragon Ancient Scroll. Lin Feng asked, "Didn't you say that there were 9 immortal scriptures in the True Dragon Ancient Scroll? Why are there only 2 immortal scriptures here? Where are the rest of the scriptures?" "Because the ancient scroll of the True Dragon I obtained is only a part of it. The rest of the Celestial Sutras should be recorded in another part, but I don't know where the other parts of the ancient scroll of the True Dragon are." Lin Feng frowned slightly. It seemed that it would be difficult to find the other parts of the True Dragon Ancient Scroll. However, Lin Feng was already very satisfied to be able to obtain the immortal scriptures and sacred arts recorded in this part of the scroll. Lin Feng imprinted the contents on the scroll and got the Emperor Brush to translate the ancient characters of the dragon race into human characters. This way, they could cultivate. Lin Feng returned the True Dragon Ancient Scroll to the female dragon race cultivator. The female dragon race cultivator glared at Lin Feng fiercely. Obviously, she was very angry about being extorted by Lin Feng. However, she had no choice. In order to return to the dragon world with Lin Feng and the rest, she could only compromise. Lin Feng was in a good mood. He looked at the female dragon race cultivator and asked, "What's your name?" The female dragon race cultivator looked at Lin Feng coldly and asked, "What's your name?" The female dragon race cultivator looked like she had eaten gunpowder. Lin Feng smiled wryly and said, "My name is Lin Feng." The female dragon race cultivator said, "My name is Jean Zian." After a pause, she continued, "Why did a human cultivator like you come to the dragon world? Right now, the dragon world is extremely chaotic. Moreover, it is extremely hostile towards other races. Therefore, the cultivators of other races who were originally stationed in the dragon world have already left one after another. However, you just had to run to the dragon world at this sensitive time. Are you going to the dragon world to die? There are many dragons who want to devour cultivators with stronger bloodlines like you to increase their cultivation." Chapter 57:13. Lin Feng asked, "Is that so? Is that so? I happen to be thinking of devouring some powerful dragons to increase my cultivation. Hopefully, many powerful dragons will come to me to seek death. I welcome them." When Jin Ziyin heard Lin Feng, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. She was speechless. When you see the cultivators of the dragon clan, you'll understand how strong they are, especially now. Many strong cultivators of the dragon clan who have been in seclusion for many years have reappeared. Many strong cultivators of the dragon clan have appeared, and those strong cultivators are terrifying. Lin Feng asked, "Are there any surpassing experts in the dragon race?" Jin Zian said, "Surpassing? I don't think so. The 3 ancestral dragons might have been, but they have disappeared for countless years. As for the top experts of the other races, they should be quasi-surpassing experts. However, they aren't ordinary quasi-surpassing experts. Dragons are naturally talented, and their physical bodies are tyrannical. They also have many powerful divine abilities that have been passed down from generation to generation. Thus, quasi-surpassing experts of the dragon race are extremely terrifying. A dragon quasi-surpassing expert can beat several cultivators of the same level from other races. That's why quasi-surpassing experts are so terrifying." Lin Feng asked, "Are there many quasi-surpassing experts in the dragon race?" Jin Zian said, "How can there be many of them? For example, in our golden dragon race, there are only 3 quasi-surpassing experts. Your golden dragon clan actually has 3 quasi-transcendents?" Lin Feng was extremely astonished. After all, it was only one race. Yet, there were 3 quasi-surpassing experts in their race. It was indeed a shocking thing. After all, there were still some powerful dragon races in the dragon world. For example, the ancient dragons, the heavenly dragons, the evil dragons, and so on. These races were extremely powerful, and they were even stronger than the golden dragon race. Thus, these races should have quasi-surpassing experts as well. Jin Zian said, "There should be 3 of them, but I can't say for sure. This is all from what I've heard. These are all experts who sealed themselves in godstones a long time ago. None of them managed to break through recently?" Lin Feng asked. Jin Zian said, "As far as I know, they were all sealed in godstones a long time ago. None of them broke through recently. In fact, even though the world has changed, it's extremely difficult to break through to the quasi-surpassing realm within 100 or 200 years. Even in the entire universe, there aren't many who can do it. No one in the dragon world has been able to do it yet. However, some extremely heaven-defying existences have appeared in the dragon world. They broke through to the true saint realm after the world changed. According to what I know, some of them have already broken through to the high-level true saint realm. If they're lucky enough, they might be able to break through to the quasi-surpassing realm in a few more years." Lin Feng nodded. In fact, there was one thing that Lin Feng knew. Breaking through to the surpassing realm was extremely difficult. Thus, it was possible that quasi-surpassing experts existed in the world, but they were extremely rare. For example, in this era, there weren't many quasi-surpassing experts. Whether it was in the past, present, or future, breaking through to the surpassing realm was extremely difficult. Lin Feng asked, "What's the current situation between the 5 major powers in the dragon world?" Jin Zian looked at Lin Feng warily because Lin Feng had been asking about the dragon world. Lin Feng was a human, so why was he asking about the dragon world? "Why are you asking about this?" Jin Zian asked. Lin Feng said, "Aren't I going to the dragon world right now? I'm more interested in the mystic dragon world." Jin Zian thought about it. She also felt that Lin Feng was a human cultivator, so he shouldn't be a threat to the major powers in the dragon world. He was probably just asking about the dragon world out of curiosity. Jin Zian said, I'm sure you already know a lot about the dragon world. Let me tell you some of the things that happened recently. The 5 major powers have officially divided the dragon world's original 108 regions into 5 major regions. Then, the 5 major powers divided the 5 regions. They're all recuperating for the time being, but you can imagine that there's an even bigger war to come. Besides, the 5 forces all have some strong cultivators behind them. For example, our Golden Dragon clan has some connections with some strong cultivators from the Xinhuang world of primordial chaos. The other dragon clans also have connections with some strong cultivators from other supreme worlds. In the upcoming war, the dragon clan won't be the only ones to participate. Lin Feng frowned slightly. It seemed that the dragon world was really complicated. The foreign cultivators also wanted to participate in the war of the dragon world. Obviously, it was for the dragon world's origin. The Celestial Emperor had done something similar in the past. The dragon world was a top-level great world. Although it couldn't be compared to the undying world, it wasn't too far off. If the experts of the dragon world were strong enough and accumulated enough strength, they might really be able to break through to a higher realm after devouring the dragon world's origin. Of course, if they devoured the dragon world's origin, the dragon world would be destroyed, and countless creatures would die tragically. However, they didn't care about this at all. They only wanted to break through, so why would they care about the lives of others? Jin Zian sighed and said, I wonder what the dragon world will become in the future. Jin Zian looked confused and worried. The ancient starship Xianyuan continued to fly in the starry sky world. About half a year passed. In the distance, Lin Feng saw a huge world. The gigantic world was in the shape of an oval. In the center of the huge world, there seemed to be a vague shape of a dragon. We've arrived at the dragon world, Jin Zian said excitedly. Chapter 57:14. After seeing the dragon world, Lin Feng's face revealed a trace of a smile. He had finally arrived at the dragon world. Now, Lin Feng also had a general idea of conquering the dragon world. The 5 major forces of the dragon world were very powerful. In addition, the 5 major forces had the support of other powerhouses behind them. It was simply impossible to subdue them directly. Everything depended on strength. Since this was the case, he could only think of a way to establish his own force first. Then, he could subdue some of the dragons that did not join the 5 major forces. Then, he would continue to nibble away at other dragons. Once he had enough strength, he could deal with the 5 major forces. As long as he could subdue one of the 5 major forces, then it would be easier to subdue the other forces. Of course, this was just Lin Feng's initial plan. He would have to wait until he reached the dragon world to make a decision. Moreover, some things were easier said than done. However, no matter how difficult it was, Lin Feng would persevere. The ancient starship Xianyuan continued to fly in the direction of the dragon world. At this moment, a sky full of demonic chi flew over from afar. The demonic chi covered the sky and covered the sun. It directly surrounded the ancient starship Xianyuan. After seeing the demonic chi, Jin Zian's face suddenly became extremely unsightly. The demonic chi was filled with heavenly demons. Obviously, these heavenly demons should be guarding the void outside the dragon world, waiting for her to come over. Now, she had indeed been blocked. The number of heavenly demons that appeared here was many times more than before. Moreover, these heavenly demons were overseen by top-notch powerhouses. They were not comparable to the heavenly demons from before. In the face of so many heavenly demons, Jin Zian was naturally very worried. A cold voice came from the demonic chi. Your ability is not small. You actually managed to rescue someone from the hands of our heavenly demon clan. However, it was useless. Aren't you still surrounded by us now? Today, all of you will die. After the heavenly demon's voice fell, a large amount of demonic chi quickly rushed over. Within the demonic chi, countless heavenly demons flew over. These heavenly demons began to attack the ancient starship Xianyuan. They wanted to destroy the restrictions on the ancient starship Xianyuan. However, The ancient starship Xianyuan was too powerful. All kinds of powerful offensive restrictions were activated and unleashed devastating attacks. Many sky fiends were hit by the attacks. Their bodies exploded. He died on the spot. Seeing the might of the ancient starship's attack restriction, Zhang Xian was shocked. The heavenly fiend leader's expression turned extremely ugly. "Leave!" The heavenly fiend leader shouted. The other sky fiends retreated. The leader of the heaven fiend race had personally taken action. His body emitted an extremely terrifying aura. Jin Xian's face turned extremely pale when she sensed the terrifying aura emitted from the heavenly fiend's body. Because this heavenly devil clan expert was actually a saint realm expert. Heavenly devils were already very powerful, and a saint realm heavenly devil was even more powerful. Therefore, facing a saint-level heavenly demon, Jin Xian felt despair. Jin Xian didn't know the cultivation of Lin Feng and the others, but in her opinion, even if Lin Feng and the others' cultivation was quite good, there was still a huge gap between them and the heavenly demons of the Sage Realm. The saint-level heavenly demon sent a palm strike towards the ancient starship Xianyuan. At the same time, the ancient starship Xuanyuan's attack restriction also released an extremely terrifying attack. It blasted towards the saint-level heavenly demon. Bang. The attacks of the two sides fiercely collided. The saint-level heavenly demon was indeed terrifying. It directly destroyed the various attacks launched by the ancient starship Xianyuan. Then, he quickly arrived outside the defensive restriction of the ancient starship Xianyuan. One palm strike after another bombarded the defensive restriction of the ancient starship Xianyuan. Bang. 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 Along with a series of violent collisions, the defensive restriction of the ancient starship Xianyuan shook violently. Fortunately, the defensive restriction of the ancient starship Xianyuan was very powerful. Although the saint-level heavenly demon's attack was very powerful, however, his attack couldn't break the defensive restriction of the ancient starship Xianyuan in a short time. If he wanted to break the defensive restriction of the ancient starship Xianyuan, he would need to spend a lot of time. The saint-level heavenly demon said with a gloomy expression, "I didn't expect the defense of your ancient starship Xianyuan to be so powerful. But so what? In the end, I'll still break through the restrictions, and then I'll kill all of you. Then, I'll devour your flesh, blood, and soul. My cultivation will definitely increase by quite a bit." Lin Feng sneered and said, "Shameless boasting." After hearing Lin Feng's mocking words, Jin Xian's face was filled with disbelief. She didn't know where Lin Feng got the courage to use the word shameless boasting to describe this saint-level heavenly demon. "Brat, you're courting death." The saint-level heavenly demon was clearly angered by Lin Feng's words. His attacks grew stronger and stronger. Under the attacks of this saint-level heavenly demon, the ancient starship Xuanyuan's defense started to crack. Duzu said, "Young master, I'll go out and deal with him." Although the poison ancestor's cultivation had improved tremendously, and he was now able to contend with some beginner Sage Realm cultivators, there was still a large gap between him and the Heavenly Fiend clan powerhouse. This was because this heavenly demon was at the 5th or 6th heavenly layer of the Sage Realm. Naturally, Duzu couldn't contend with such a powerhouse. Lin Feng said, "I'll go." Then, Lin Feng walked outside. Jin Xian said, "What are you doing? Are you trying to throw your life away?" Lin Feng smiled indifferently. He didn't answer Jin Xian. Instead, he walked out of the ancient starship Xianyuan. When he saw Lin Feng walk out, the heavenly demon was very surprised. However, he immediately sneered and said, "Brat, are you in such a hurry to throw your life away?" As soon as he finished speaking, the saint from the Devamara clan threw a punch at Lin Feng. Lin Feng sneered. Lin Feng leaped out. Then, his body turned into a yin-yang diagram. Lin Feng's yin and yang symbol flew through the air at high speed. It was too fast. It was so fast that the heavenly demon couldn't dodge in time. Slash. The sound of something being torn apart was heard. The heavenly demon's body was cut in half by Lin Feng's yin-yang diagram. Chapter 57:15. How is this possible? She saw that the Sage Realm heavenly demon was split into two by Lin Feng's yin-yang diagram. Jean Zian's face suddenly revealed an expression of disbelief. How terrifying was a Sage Realm expert? Moreover, this was a Sage Realm expert of the Heavenly Devil clan. A Sage Realm expert from the Heavenly Demon clan was even more terrifying. However, he couldn't even withstand one move from Lin Feng. Lin Feng was only a young cultivator. It was simply unbelievable that he possessed such heaven-defying combat strength at such a young age. Although Jean Zian had seen many geniuses, she had never seen an existence as heaven-defying as Lin Feng. Therefore, she couldn't calm down for a long time. She even felt like she was dreaming. However, she knew that all of this was real. Lin Feng had indeed split the Heavenly Demon Clan expert's body into two with one move. I am an immortal existence. The Heavenly Demon Clan expert roared furiously. His body was rapidly reassembling as if he wanted to reform his body. However, Lin Feng's yin-yang diagram transformed into Lin Feng's original appearance. Lin Feng's palm landed on the Heavenly Demon Clan expert's body. The Heavenly Demon Clan expert's body directly exploded. The surrounding Heavenly Demon Clan cultivators were scared out of their wits when they saw this scene. Although they had the advantage in numbers, a Sage Realm expert couldn't even last one round against Lin Feng. What about them? No matter how many of them they had, they couldn't withstand Lin Feng's attack. The Heavenly Demon Clan cultivators quickly fled into the distance. Lin Feng didn't chase after them. They were just a bunch of insignificant people. Lin Feng began to search the Sage Realm Heavenly Demon soul. Lin Feng felt that there should be a lot of important information in his soul. Lin Feng was worried that someone had placed a powerful restriction on the mind of this Sage Realm expert. If there was a restriction, then Lin Feng wouldn't be able to search his soul. When Lin Feng tried to use soul search on him, he was stunned. A smile suddenly appeared on Lin Feng's face because he realized that there was no restriction in the soul of the Sky Fiend race member. Since that was the case, he could use the soul search on him without any worries. Lin Feng began to search the soul memories of the Saint Realm demon. Very quickly, Lin Feng found a lot of useful information. What made Lin Feng surprised was that the Heavenly Demon race was planning to invade the Dragon Realm. Moreover, the higher-ups of the Heavenly Demon race and the higher-ups of the Dragon race were discussing about cooperation. However, from this person's memories, Lin Feng could not find any memory of the celestial demons discussing this matter with any dragon clan. It should be some other powerhouse of the Heavenly Demon race discussing cooperation with the dragon race. It just so happened that this Heavenly Demon was out on a mission, so he didn't know much about this matter. Even if he didn't know which dragon clan was discussing cooperation with the Heavenly Demon, he could still make some speculations. The Heavenly Demon had killed the Golden Dragon race cultivators, so he could rule out this race. It was most likely one of the other four races, but it was still unknown which race it was. Cooperating with the Heavenly Demon was tantamount to asking a tiger for its skin. He didn't know what the dragon race that cooperated with the Heavenly Demon was thinking. After Lin Feng finished searching all the memories, he refined the flesh and soul of this Heavenly Demon into an origin source. Although he couldn't use this level of origin source, he could give it to Du Zhu and the evil Venerable Saint. If they could refine the origin source of this Sage Realm Heavenly Demon, the strength of Du Zhu and the evil Venerable Saint would definitely increase by a lot. Lin Feng immediately returned to the ancient starship Xianyuan. Jean Zian's face still had that extremely shocked expression. Jean Zian's red lips were slightly opened, and her appearance was really alluring. She looked at Lin Feng and asked, "How can you be so powerful? If you want to know, perhaps we can discuss it in private," Lin Feng said with a smile. After feeling Lin Feng's burning gaze, Jean Zian's delicate body trembled slightly. She then rolled her eyes at Lin Feng. Actually, she wasn't a casual person, but when facing a man like Lin Feng, she still felt a little flustered. The ancient starship Xianyuan successfully entered the Dragon Realm. Then, it landed on top of a mountain forest in the Dragon Realm. This was an area covered by an ancient forest. It was unknown where this place was. Lin Feng put away the ancient starship Xianyuan. Jean Zian looked at Lin Feng and said, "Are you interested in joining our Golden Dragon clan? If you join us, you will definitely be able to hold a high position in our clan. We will definitely give you a lot of benefits, and we definitely won't treat you badly." Lin Feng was speechless. This woman actually wanted to recruit him? In the future, your Golden Dragon clan will be under this young master's command. Okay? Lin Feng muttered in his heart. He narrowed his eyes at Jin Zian and said, "If you accompany me for 3 days, I might consider this matter." Jin Zian had never experienced the feelings of a man and a woman before. However, she also knew what Lin Feng's words meant. She snorted softly and cursed him for being a pervert. Then, she quickly flew into the distance. In the blink of an eye, she disappeared without a trace. Lin Feng and the others observed the Dragon Realm for a while and immediately realized something. The Dragon Realm was indeed very different from other worlds. This was because whether it was trees, mountains, or other things, they were all very large. For example, an ordinary ancient tree in the Dragon Realm would be several thousand meters tall. Especially tall ancient trees would be over 10,000 meters tall. This was very rare in other realms. Another example was the mountain peaks. Those ordinary mountains were tens of thousands of meters tall. The taller ones were hundreds of thousands of meters tall. At a glance, one couldn't even see the end of it. Where was this place? The things in the Dragon Realm were so huge. Naturally, there was a reason. The main reason was that the laws of the Dragon Realm were very special. The laws of the Dragon Realm seemed to magnify the size of various things. "Let's go," Lin Feng said. The Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint nodded. They quickly left. Lin Feng now planned to find an ancient city. They would rest in the ancient city for a while. Then, they would consider their next move. Thus, Lin Feng and the others began to look for an ancient city that was relatively close to them. Half a month later, Lin Feng and the others saw an incomparably huge ancient city lying between heaven and earth. That ancient city emitted a suffocating aura. It was as if they were facing an ancient giant beast. Chapter 57:16. After seeing the ancient city of the Dragon Clan, a smile appeared on Lin Feng's face. They finally found an ancient city of the Dragon Clan. This ancient city of the Dragon Clan was big enough, but it was quite in line with the characteristics of the surrounding environment. Many dragons flew towards the ancient city from all directions. After entering the ancient city, those dragons all turned into human forms. Lin Feng and the others quickly entered the ancient city. The ancient city was very lively. People came and went in an endless stream. In fact, the number of dragons here was not particularly large, but there were many living beings here. This had something to do with the composition of the Dragon Realm. The rulers of the Dragon Realm were of course those pureblood dragons. But because the dragon bloodline was particularly powerful, it was more difficult for the pureblood dragons to give birth to living beings. Therefore, many dragon cultivators and other race cultivators gave birth to life together. Over the long years, after the dragon race and some other races combined, many living beings with the dragon bloodline were born. After their kind of living beings passed down, although the dragon bloodline became thinner and thinner, their fertility continued to increase. Because of the thin dragon bloodline in their bodies, although they could not be considered true dragon cultivators, they were more or less descendants of the dragon race. So, now, 80% of the living beings in the dragon realm were descendants of the dragon race. There were also some cultivators of other races, such as the demon race and other races in the dragon realm. In addition, there were also some foreign cultivators. Although most of the foreign cultivators had already left, there were still some cultivators who had not left the dragon realm. After Lin Feng and the others arrived at the ancient city, they attracted the attention of many people. The main reason was that humans were indeed rare in the dragon realm. They might not see a human cultivator for a long time. Lin Feng and the others found a place to stay and then went to inquire about the news. Lin Feng and the others received a lot of information. For example, this ancient city of the Dragon Realm was an ancient city ruled by the Black Dragon Clan. The Black Dragon Clan was not considered a particularly powerful race among the Dragon Clan. They could only be considered an ordinary race. However, they also had some powerful foundations that could not be underestimated. It was said that the Black Dragon Clan only had about 3,000 people. This number was naturally considered a very small number. After gathering a lot of information, Lin Feng gradually came up with a plan. Lin Feng planned to first subdue the Black Dragon race, then slowly expand from here and subdue more dragons. If the plan went smoothly, he should be able to establish a decent force in a relatively short period of time. Of course, they planned to find a place to eat first. During this period of time, they had been sailing in the starry sky world and had not been able to have a good meal. Although food was no longer a necessity for cultivators at Lin Feng's level, Lin Feng and the others were gluttons. Every time they arrived at a new place, they would try all kinds of delicacies. Presumably, there must be many special delicacies in the dragon world. Therefore, Lin Feng and the others planned to go and have a taste. Lin Feng and the others arrived at a very luxurious restaurant. Then, he ordered a lot of delicious dishes and enjoyed the meal. Lin Feng and the others paid the bill and left. Just as they were returning to their residence, one after another, flood dragons flew over from the distance. On each flood dragon, there was a cultivator sitting cross-legged. After seeing those cultivators, many people exclaimed, "It's the cultivators of the black dragon race." Those cultivators of the black dragon race did not transform into the appearance of a black dragon. Most of the time, these dragons would also transform into the appearance of a human. In fact, it was not only the dragon race. Many races would transform into the appearance of a human, because the human form was the most suitable form for comprehending the great Tao of heaven and earth. This was something that many races knew. Therefore, they would often transform into the appearance of a human to cultivate. Seeing the cultivators of the black dragon race, the surrounding people showed a look of awe. At this time, a female cultivator of the black dragon race saw Lin Feng in the crowd. The female cultivator from the black dragon tribe was extremely tall and slender. She wore a long black dress that wrapped around her enchanting body. She had a delicate and beautiful face, and when she saw Lin Feng in the crowd, she showed a look of surprise. Humans were relatively rare, and powerful ones were even rarer. She could sense an extremely powerful bloodline power from Lin Feng. Lin Feng naturally noticed that the female cultivator of the black dragon race was looking at him. Lin Feng could not help but wonder why she was looking at him like that. The female cultivator of the black dragon race withdrew her gaze. After they left, she waved her hand. A cultivator of the black dragon race quickly flew towards the female cultivator of the black dragon race. After arriving beside the female cultivator of the black dragon race, he asked, "Young miss, what are your orders?" The female cultivator of the black dragon race asked, "You noticed that human cultivator from before, right?" The cultivator of the black dragon race nodded and said, "I noticed him. Young miss, do you want to capture him and refine him into a human blood treasure pill?" In fact, this kind of thing was very common in the world of cultivators. Many living beings liked to capture human cultivators with powerful bloodlines and refine them into human blood treasure pills. This was because humans were the kind of living beings that had the best affinity with the great Tao of heaven and earth. Therefore, their flesh and blood were the catalyst for refining all kinds of top-grade pills. When refining pills, if top-grade human flesh and blood were fused into them, they would be able to refine top-grade pills. Therefore, in the world of cultivators, there were often top-grade experts who would capture human cultivators with powerful bloodlines and refine them into human blood treasure pills. Chapter 57:17. The dragon female cultivator said, "Find out where he lives." "Yes, young mistress," the dragon race cultivator hurriedly replied. He was curious as to why the young mistress wanted to find out where the human race cultivator lived. If she wanted to capture the human race cultivator, she could have just sent someone to capture him. Of course, he didn't dare to ask why the young mistress wanted to do this. Lin Feng and the other three didn't continue to stay outside. The four of them returned to their residence. Then, Lin Feng told the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil supremacy sage about some of his plans. After hearing Lin Feng's plan, the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil supremacy sage agreed wholeheartedly with Lin Feng's plan. The black dragon race wasn't considered a particularly powerful race. However, they were quite powerful. Therefore, it was very important for Lin Feng to subdue the black dragon race. This was the first step for him to take root in the dragon world. In fact, as long as Lin Feng could subdue the dragon world, it would be much easier for him to subdue the devil world. This was because the dragon world wasn't very far from the devil world. There was a reason why Lin Feng didn't bring the cultivator army from the undying world over. Firstly, it was because the journey was long. A large-scale migration of the cultivator army was likely to be plotted against along the way. For example, the lost race of the epic or the mastermind's world. By then, they would suffer heavy losses. Secondly, the undying world was too important. That was Lin Feng's headquarters. If a large-scale cultivator army left the undying world, other powers might take advantage of the situation and invade. However, Lin Feng didn't have to worry so much if he mobilized the cultivators from the dragon race. This was because the dragon world was a special place. There were too many experts, and it was difficult for other powers to occupy the dragon world. Even if he transferred a portion of the cultivators from the dragon world to the devil world, the dragon world was closer to the devil world. If someone really invaded the dragon world, they could quickly come back to reinforce. They could even catch the other party off guard. That night, someone came to visit Lin Feng. Lin Feng asked Du Zhu to bring him in. What surprised Lin Feng was that the person who came to visit him was actually the Black Dragon Clan female cultivator he saw during the day. Said the female cultivator of the Black Dragon Clan to Lin Feng. "I need to talk to you alone. Tell the others to leave," said the female cultivator to Lin Feng. She said in an unquestionable tone. Because this was an ancient city ruled by the Black Dragon race, the cultivators of the Black Dragon race were naturally lofty existences. They were the rulers and could do whatever they wanted. And this female dragon cultivator was the daughter of the Black Dragon tribe's patriarch. With such an extraordinary status, she was even more lofty. Lin Feng didn't say anything. He wanted to see what this Dragon Clan female cultivator wanted to do. Therefore, Lin Feng asked the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Holy to leave. After they left, the female dragon looked at Lin Feng and asked, "Where did you come from?" Lin Feng said, "I came from the undying world." "Oh, the undying world? The undying world is very far from here, and the dragon world is in chaos right now. What are you doing here?" The female Dragon Clan cultivator asked doubtfully. Lin Feng said, "There are some important matters." The Dragon Clan female cultivator nodded. She didn't ask what Lin Feng was talking about. She said, "I'm giving you a chance now. I hope you can grasp it well." "What chance?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "Become my human pet," the female dragon cultivator said. After hearing this, Lin Feng sneered. He finally knew why this Dragon Clan female cultivator was here. She actually wanted to take him as her human pet. The term human pet was very easy to understand. A human was a human. A pet was a pet. A human pet. It meant to treat a human as a pet. The Dragon Clan female cultivator looked at Lin Feng as if everything was under her control. Moreover, when she said this, it was as if she was talking about something ordinary. However, this made Lin Feng extremely angry. In the world of cultivators, there were too many people who thought too highly of themselves. They felt that just because they had some background and some strength, they were arrogant. They trampled on the dignity of others as they wished. This Dragon Clan female cultivator was clearly such a person. He sneered and said, "I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place." The Dragon Clan female cultivator said, "I see that you're handsome and your bloodline cultivation is quite good. That's why I want to take you as my human pet. If you know what's good for you, you should obediently be my pet. If you don't, then I'll refine you into a human blood treasure pill." Lin Feng's expression became more and more gloomy. He had naturally heard of the human blood treasure pill, and he also knew that in the world of cultivators, there were indeed many cultivators who used the flesh and soul of humans as medicinal ingredients to refine the human blood treasure pill. For the human race, this was a great humiliation. Lin Feng looked coldly at the Dragon Clan female cultivator and said, "I really don't know where you get your confidence from. You actually dare to come to my place and behave so atrociously. I see that your figure is quite good, and you're also quite good-looking. You're already qualified to be my human pet. I've taken some female slaves, but I've never taken a female pet. I'm very interested in taking you as my female pet." "What did you say?" The Dragon Clan female cultivator's expression suddenly became extremely gloomy. Her eyes emitted a cold, murderous intent. She had always been a high and mighty existence. Only he took others as pets. When had anyone dared to say that they wanted to take her as a pet in front of her? However, Lin Feng actually said such words, which naturally made her extremely angry. Therefore, when she looked at Lin Feng, her eyes were filled with a dense murderous intent. Lin Feng said, "What's wrong? You don't understand? I said I want to take you as my female pet. You're courting death." The Dragon Clan female cultivator's voice was cold as she slapped her palm towards Lin Feng. Clearly, she was very angry at Lin Feng's words just now. The attack contained within her palm was very tyrannical, but in Lin Feng's eyes, it was nothing. This was because the Dragon Clan female cultivator's cultivation was only at the virtual immortal realm, the first major realm of the true immortal realm. The gap between her and Lin Feng was simply too big. The attack of a cultivator at this level could not pose a threat to Lin Feng at all. When the Dragon Clan female cultivator's palm came towards him, Lin Feng did not even dodge. The Dragon Clan female cultivator's palm landed on Lin Feng's body. Her face was filled with a cold expression. She originally thought that Lin Feng would be killed by her palm, but in the next moment, a look of horror appeared on her face. This was because after her palm landed on Lin Feng's body, Lin Feng did not move at all. He was not even injured at all. Chapter 57:18. After seeing this scene, the dragon female cultivator naturally knew that she had kicked an iron plate today. She didn't think that a young human cultivator like Lin Feng would be so strong. She didn't even know how strong Lin Feng's cultivation was to be able to withstand her terrifying attack and be completely fine. Moreover, he was looking at her with a look of ridicule. The female cultivator of the Dragon Clan turned around and ran away, but at that moment, Lin Feng grabbed the female cultivator of the Dragon Clan. The dragon female cultivator turned around and slapped Lin Feng. Lin Feng dodged the slap and then grabbed the dragon female cultivator's wrist. Then, he pulled her towards him. Lin Feng hugged the Dragon Clan's female cultivator. The dragon female cultivator's expression changed greatly. She wanted to struggle, but her body was imprisoned by Lin Feng. She couldn't break free at all. "Let go of me." The dragon female cultivator looked at Lin Feng in horror. Lin Feng said, "My dragon female pet, the night is long. Don't waste this beautiful scenery." After hearing Lin Feng's words, the dragon female cultivator was so scared that her face turned pale. The rain in the Wu Mountain never stopped. Drops of red fell like plum blossoms. The next day, under the dragon female cultivator's service, Lin Feng dressed neatly. The dragon female cultivator had now become Lin Feng's female pet. After being taught by Lin Feng, she became extremely obedient. Lin Feng found that this dragon female cultivator seemed to have masochistic tendencies and especially worshipped the strong. Therefore, although Lin Feng didn't convert her, she was completely conquered by Lin Feng. After becoming Lin Feng's female pet, she seemed to be enjoying it very much. This made Lin Feng a little speechless. This woman's personality was really cheap. When the Poison Ancestor and the others saw the Dragon Clan's female cultivator next to Lin Feng, they understood what had happened the day before. Du Zhu and the evil Dominator wholly knew that Lin Feng had such a flirtatious personality. Wherever he went, he would attract a few women. Therefore, they weren't surprised. As for the Emperor Brush, what hadn't it seen before? To him, this kind of thing wasn't surprising at all. Naturally, he wouldn't say much. Moreover, the dragon female cultivator had been successfully subdued by Lin Feng. This was very beneficial to their plan of subduing the Black Dragon race. Lin Feng introduced the dragon female cultivator to the Emperor Brush, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Holy Dan Ying. This name sounded quite nice. Of course, she was also very beautiful, and her figure was also quite hot and charming. Lin Feng then introduced the Emperor Brush, the Poison Ancestor, and the evil Zun Saint to the Dragon Clan. Both parties were considered acquaintances. After a simple breakfast, Zhang Ziyan took a deep breath. Lin Feng and the rest began to talk about serious matters. Lin Feng looked at the dragon female cultivator and asked, "What's the situation with the Black Dragon race now?" Dan Ying began to introduce the current situation of the Black Dragon race to Lin Feng. Currently, the strongest Black Dragon in the Black Dragon race was the Black Dragon Patriarch. He was a fourth heaven sage. A cultivator of this level naturally posed no threat to Linfeng and the rest. However, in all realms, Sage Realm experts were actually the top cultivators. A fourth Heaven Sage wasn't considered a powerful cultivator to someone like Linfeng, but to other cultivators, he was definitely a godlike figure. The reason the Black Dragon race was able to occupy this ancient city and rule over a large area was because of the deterrence of this Sage Realm expert. In fact, even the top dragon clans, such as the Ancient Dragon Clan, the Heavenly Dragon Clan, the Golden Dragon Clan, and so on, did not have many Saint Realm experts in their clans. In their clans, Saint Realm experts were definitely the upper echelons of their clans. Therefore, Fourth Heaven Sage Realm experts were extremely important figures in the eyes of many people. It was very normal for them to be able to intimidate a region. Du Zhu said, if it's only the Fourth Heaven Sage Realm, it won't be too difficult to subdue them. After hearing Du Zhu's words, Dan Yingying's expression changed slightly. She didn't expect Linfeng to want to subdue the Black Dragon race. However, Dan Yingying was now Linfeng's human pet. Therefore, no matter what Linfeng did, she would always side with Linfeng. In Dan Yingying's opinion, there was nothing wrong with the Black Dragon race relying on Linfeng. Linfeng looked at Dan Yingying and said, take us to the Black Dragon race now. I want to talk to your father about this matter. I hope we can resolve this matter peacefully. Dan Yingying quickly nodded. Then, they didn't continue to stay here. They set off for the Black Dragon race's encampment. The Black Dragon race's encampment was located in the depths of the ancient city. There was an incomparably huge house there. That house was the Black Dragon race's encampment. Most of the Black Dragon race's clansmen lived there. Of course, this place wasn't the ancestral land of the Black Dragon race. Where was the ancestral land of the Black Dragon race? Linfeng didn't know. With Dan Yingying leading the way, Linfeng and the others naturally arrived at the Black Dragon race's encampment without any obstructions. Then, Dan Yingying went to invite her father over. Not long after, Dan Yingying brought her father to the living room. Dan Yingying's father was a tall and sturdy middle-aged cultivator. This person was called Dan Guangqi. His cultivation was quite tyrannical. Linfeng felt that this person had reached the peak of the true immortal realm. If he broke through again, he would be in the Sage realm. However, it wasn't easy to break through to the Sage realm. Even though the world had changed greatly, breaking through to the Sage realm required a great opportunity. If there wasn't a great opportunity, then one would need an extremely deep understanding of the Great Earth Tao to break through. Dan Yingying didn't say who Linfeng was or why Linfeng was here. She only told Dan Guangqi that an extremely powerful person had come to visit. Dan Guangqi didn't suspect anything. He quickly followed Dan Yingying. After seeing Linfeng and the others, Dan Guangqi couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. He felt that Linfeng and the others were indeed not simple. He couldn't help but guess the identity of Linfeng and the others. Naturally, he could tell at a glance that these people were led by Linfeng. Therefore, Dan Guangqi looked at Linfeng, cupped his fists and said, I'm the patriarch of the Black Dragon race, Dan Guangqi. How should I address you, young master? Dan Guangqi was quite smooth and slick. He didn't put on airs at all. Of course, it was also possible that he didn't put on a high and mighty attitude because he felt that Linfeng and the others had an extraordinary background. Chapter 57:19. Linfeng said, I am Linfeng, and I came from the undying world to give Patriarch Dan a great opportunity. Dan Guangqi was puzzled by Linfeng's words. He wondered what kind of opportunity Linfeng was talking about. However, Dan Guangqi didn't think much of it. Dan Guangqi naturally felt that Linfeng was exaggerating when he said that he was going to give a young cultivator like Linfeng a great opportunity. However, Linfeng and the others gave Dan Guangqi a very extraordinary feeling. Thus, he didn't show it on his face even though he had some doubts. He looked at Linfeng with a smile and asked, May I know what kind of opportunity Lin Gongzi is going to give me? Linfeng asked, What level does the Black Dragon race belong to in the Dragon World? Dan Guangqi said, The strongest races in the Dragon World are the Heavenly Dragon race, Golden Dragon race, Evil Dragon race, Ancient Dragon race, Winged Dragon race, and the other leading forces of the 5 great alliances. The dragon race of the first level is the second level of the dragon race of the 5 great alliances. The dragon race of the 5 great alliances is the 3rd level of the dragon race. Our clan should be at the 4th or 5th level, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, if that's the case, the black dragon race's ranking is really low. It's even lower than I thought. Dan Guangqi frowned slightly. Lin Feng's words made him extremely unhappy. He said, I admit that my race's position isn't high, but Lin Gongzi's words sounded a little mocking. Are you looking down on my race? Lin Feng said, no, I'm not. I'm here to give you an opportunity to make your black dragon race the strongest race in the dragon world. After hearing Lin Feng's words, Dan Guangqi was slightly stunned, and then he sneered in his heart. Of course, he didn't believe Lin Feng's words. It was like one day, a young man came to a millionaire's side, and then the young man suddenly said to the millionaire, I can make you the richest man in the world. No matter who it was, no one would believe it, right? Everyone would probably think that there was something wrong with this young man's head. It was as if Dan Guangqi was wondering if there was something wrong with Lin Feng's head. He actually dared to say such shameless words in front of him. Although Dan Guangqi was cursing in his heart, he didn't show it on his face. He wanted to see what Lin Feng was planning. So, Dan Guangqi asked, I wonder how young master can make our black dragon race the top race in the dragon realm? Lin Feng said, submit to me, and I will naturally lead your black dragon race to become the top race in the dragon world. Dan Guangqi's face became cold. When Lin Feng said these words, he knew what Lin Feng's purpose for coming here was. Lin Feng actually wanted to subdue the black dragon race. Although the black dragon race wasn't considered a top race, they still had a saint stage expert overseeing it. Moreover, the black dragon race had more than 3,000 members, and they ruled Black Dragon City and a large territory. The black dragon race was quite tyrannical. How could they submit to someone else so casually? Not to mention, this person was a young human cultivator from another world. Dan Guangqi naturally couldn't agree to such a thing. He said in a deep voice, Lin Gongzi, your words are a bit too much. Lin Feng smiled and said, I don't think so. In my opinion, your black dragon race being able to submit to me is the merit of your black dragon race's ancestors. Lin Gongzi, the black dragon race doesn't welcome you. You can leave now. Dan Guangqi said coldly. Lin Feng said, take a look and see what this is. Lin Feng directly took out the true dragon token. After seeing the token in Lin Feng's hand, Dan Guangqi's face immediately revealed an expression of disbelief. Although they hadn't seen the real true dragon token, he had seen an image of it. Lin Feng had obviously taken out the true dragon token. Moreover, he was sure that this was the real true dragon token, not a fake one. This was because the true dragon token emitted the true dragon's might. The true dragon's might couldn't be faked. This young human cultivator in front of him had actually brought the true dragon token. This was really inconceivable. The appearance of the true dragon token could cause a huge change in the dragon world. One had to know. Right now, the 5 major forces were locked in battle because none of them could take out a true dragon token. If any of them could take out a true dragon token, they would be able to use it to suppress the other 4 major forces. At that time, they could become the true masters of the dragon world. Without the true dragon token, they couldn't suppress each other, so they could only fight each other. Dan Guangqi also knew how extraordinary the value of the true dragon token was. If he could take the true dragon token for himself now, then it would be a huge trump card. Although the Black Dragon Patriarch knew that even if the Black Dragon race had the true dragon token, they couldn't become the master of the dragon world, but they could negotiate with the other 5 factions. Then, they could get as many benefits as possible. After thinking about this, Dan Guangqi's face couldn't help but reveal a look of ecstasy. Dan Guangqi reached out to grab the true dragon token in Lin Feng's hand, but Lin Feng took a step back and dodged Dan Guangqi. Dan Guangqi said in a cold voice, Lin Gongzi, this is the territory of the Black Dragon clan. If you know what's good for you, you'll give me the talisman. That way, I'll give you riches and honor. If you're stubborn, you'll die without a grave. Lin Feng sneered and said, have you heard of the saying, a man whose heart is not content is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant? Now I see that you are doing this kind of thing. The true dragon token is not something you can covet. If I give it to you, your black dragon race will be doomed eternally. Oh, impudent, you dare to say such words in front of this patriarch. Today, This patriarch will kill you." With that, Dan Guangxi slapped towards Lin Feng. He was now determined to kill Lin Feng and snatch the true dragon token in Lin Feng's hands. In the face of Dan Guangxi's palm strike, Lin Feng sneered. Lin Feng waved his sleeve, and a powerful force surged out. That powerful force fiercely bombarded Dan Guangxi's body. Dan Guangxi was directly sent flying, and he couldn't help but spit out a large mouthful of blood in midair. Chapter 57:20. Dan Guangxi fell to the ground. His face was pale as he looked at Lin Feng. He couldn't believe what had just happened. His cultivation was so tyrannical, but Lin Feng's attack had defeated him in an instant. It was too inconceivable. How strong was Lin Feng's cultivation? "Who are you?" Dan Guangxi asked with an unsightly expression. Facing an expert like Lin Feng, he didn't even have the strength to fight back. Even the ancestor of the Black Dragon race couldn't defeat him so easily. The key was that Lin Feng had really done it. Moreover, Lin Feng was so young. Such a heaven-defying character was rare even in the whole universe. Lin Feng said, "I am the master of the dragon world. I have the true dragon token. Sooner or later, I will unify the dragon world. Let me ask you, will you submit to me?" Dan Guangxi's expression kept changing. He was worried that Lin Feng would kill him if he didn't agree. Who knew what Lin Feng's temperament was like? Lin Feng might really do that, so he didn't dare to refuse. However, even if he agreed, he couldn't make the decision. The Black Dragon race still had a Saint Realm ancestor. The Saint Realm ancestor was the one who could make the final decision. Therefore, Dan Guangxi said, "I really can't make a decision on this matter because our Black Dragon clan has a Saint Realm ancestor. Unless that Saint Realm ancestor agrees to this matter, even if I agree, it's useless." Lin Feng asked, "Where is the ancestor of the Black Dragon race?" "He's in seclusion in the spatial barrier of our race." Dan Guangxi said, "Send me into the spatial barrier." Lin Feng said, "Inside the spatial barrier of the Black Dragon race." An old man was sitting cross-legged on a mountain peak, cultivating. Powerful energy was continuously gathering in his body. In his dantian, a black dragon was faintly discernible. This old man was the ancestor of the Black Dragon race, the only Saint Realm expert of the Black Dragon clan. The old ancestor of the Black Dragon clan was trying to break through to the 5th heavenly layer of Sage Realm. However, he hadn't been able to break through despite his efforts for many years. It was obvious that it was very difficult to break through to the 5th heavenly layer of Sage Realm just by relying on seclusion. He needed a great opportunity to break through. At this moment, the Black Dragon Patriarch seemed to have sensed something. He opened his eyes and frowned slightly. This was because a young human cultivator had arrived. However, he didn't recognize this young human cultivator. This young human cultivator was none other than Lin Feng. The Black Dragon Patriarch stood up and looked at Lin Feng with a gloomy expression. "Who are you?" Lin Feng said, "I am the current ruler of the dragon world. The leader of the Black Dragon race has already submitted to me. Let me ask you, are you willing to submit to me?" The Black Dragon Patriarch sneered. Now that the Dragon Realm is without a leader, when did a Dragon Realm Lord appear? Moreover, you are a human cultivator. Do you think anyone will believe you when you say that you are the ruler of the Dragon Realm? Lin Feng took out the real dragon talisman. When Ancestor He Long saw the real dragon talisman, he was astonished. He recognized the real dragon talisman. No wonder Lin Feng dared to say that he was the ruler of the Dragon Realm. He actually had the true dragon token. Logically speaking, a cultivator with the true dragon token was indeed the ruler of the Dragon Realm. However, this wasn't the case in reality. To become the ruler of the Dragon Realm, one needed to have the strength to convince the masses. If one couldn't convince the masses, they wouldn't be able to become the ruler of the Dragon Realm. It was just like the kingdoms of mortals in the secular world. If one wanted to be the emperor, would those powerful vassals submit to them? If they didn't submit to you and wanted to rebel, you wouldn't be able to become the emperor. The 5 forces have been looking for the true dragon token all these years, but they haven't been able to find it. Who would have thought that it would appear in the hands of a young human cultivator like you? If we can obtain this golden dragon token, How many benefits will our black dragon race obtain? Give me the true dragon token. The Black Dragon Patriarch had the same idea as Dan Guangqi. He wanted to snatch the true dragon token from Lin Feng's hands. He was a saint, and he had the strength of the fourth sky of the saint layer. He was extremely strong. He was confident that if he wanted to steal the real dragon talisman, Lin Feng wouldn't be able to stop him. Therefore, he directly attacked Lin Feng. He opened his palm and slapped towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng coldly looked at the Black Dragon Patriarch and shouted, "Impudent!" A terrifying pressure spread out from Lin Feng's body. That terrifying pressure directly struck the Black Dragon Patriarch's body. The Black Dragon Patriarch was pushed back by such a powerful pressure. His face turned pale. His body was trembling. His eyes were filled with fear. He didn't dare to imagine that such a young human cultivator could release such a terrifying pressure. This kind of pressure should only be released by those at the peak of the Sage Realm. Could it be that this young human cultivator was already at the peak of the Sage Realm? "Spare me, young master, spare me." The Black Dragon Patriarch looked at Lin Feng in horror and begged for mercy. Just a moment ago, he wanted to snatch Lin Feng's true dragon token, but now he was scared out of his wits. He didn't want to die. It wasn't easy for him to cultivate to the Sage Realm. He had a great chance of surviving this epic-ending calamity. Therefore, he cherished his life more than the average person. Lin Feng coldly said, "Why aren't you kneeling and submitting to me?" The Black Dragon Patriarch didn't dare to hesitate. He immediately knelt on the ground and swore his loyalty to Lin Feng. "I, Black Dragon Patriarch Shan Xiongxin, am willing to pledge my loyalty to young master. If I dare to betray young master, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death." After hearing the Black Dragon Patriarch's oath, Lin Feng couldn't help but nod and say, "All right, get up." "Yes, young master." The Black Dragon Patriarch got up. Then, Lin Feng and the Black Dragon Patriarch left the spatial barrier together. They went to the living room outside. Lin Feng asked Dan Guangqi to summon the upper echelons of the Black Dragon clan. Lin Feng had subdued the Black Dragon clan, so he naturally wanted to meet the upper echelons of the Black Dragon clan. This way, he could fully understand the cultivation of the upper echelons of the Black Dragon clan. This was very important for Lin Feng's next plan. Not long after, the upper echelons of the Black Dragon clan all arrived. Then, Dan Guangqi told them about the Black Dragon clan's surrender to Lin Feng. The upper echelons of the Black Dragon clan were very shocked. They didn't know why the Patriarch and Patriarch would surrender to this young master. However, when they remembered that the Patriarch was at the fourth heaven of the Sage Realm, they chose to submit. It was obvious. This young master of the human clan must have an extremely shocking background or extremely terrifying means. Otherwise, the ancestor and the clan leader would never submit to this young master. Chapter 57:21. Lin Feng looked at the higher-ups of the Black Dragon race and said, "Since the Black Dragon race has pledged allegiance to me, I won't mistreat you in the future." After pausing for a moment, Lin Feng continued, "Now, let's talk about the general situation of the Black Dragon race's territory." The Black Dragon ancestor said, reporting to young master, "The territory we're in right now is under the control of the ancient dragon race. However, the Black Dragon race isn't particularly strong, so we aren't qualified to join the ancient dragon race's core circle. However, every year, the Black Dragon race pays a lot of taxes to the ancient dragon race." Lin Feng couldn't help but nod. He then asked, "What are the surrounding factions?" The Black Dragon ancestor said, "The place we're in right now is quite chaotic. There are about 40 or 50 dragon clans, big and small. However, there aren't any particularly strong dragons. Most of them are relatively weak. Our Black Dragon race can be considered a fairly strong dragon clan. Although we can't rank in the top 10, we can still rank around 12th or 13th. The strongest ones are the Green Dragon race, the Fire Dragon race, and the Water Dragon race. These three dragon clans are roughly equivalent to third-grade dragon clans. The rest of the dragon clans that rank in the top 10 are fourth-grade dragon clans. Although they aren't weak, they aren't much stronger than our Black Dragon race." Lin Feng couldn't help but nod. This was the situation he wanted to see. If there weren't any particularly strong dragons, it would be beneficial for Lin Feng. That way, Lin Feng would be able to gradually annex those dragons. Lin Feng asked, how many black dragon race cultivators can be mobilized? The black dragon ancestor said, there are about 1,300 cultivators from the black dragon race who can be mobilized. The rest are either too old, injured, or too young to participate in the battle. Lin Feng continued asking, there must be many cultivators who have pledged allegiance to the black dragon race, right? How many cultivators have pledged allegiance to the black dragon race? The black dragon ancestor said, there are about 300,000 to 400,000 cultivators in total, but that's including their families. There are about 10,000 cultivators who can participate in the battle. These 10,000 people are quite strong. They're all at the hollow immortal realm or higher. There are about 500 true immortals. After hearing this number, Lin Feng was very surprised. 500 true immortal realm cultivators was quite a number. Coupled with the cultivators from the Black Dragon clan, this was a considerably strong army of cultivators. Of course, Lin Feng still had 56 powerful undead here. These were the undead of the Sage realm. If the 56 undead were included, sweeping through this area was no problem at all. Lin Feng said, gather the army. We'll act in 5 days and slowly devour all of the dragons in the surroundings. Yes, young master. The Black Dragon ancestor hurriedly said. In the following period of time, Lin Feng sent out 56 Sage Realm undead to coordinate with the cultivator army. They began to expand. With 56 Saint-level undead creatures, everything went smoothly. Although some of the clans were quite strong, Lin Feng had too many Sage Realm experts on his side. Therefore, even the third-rate dragons didn't have much power to resist. After about a year, the dozens of dragons in the surrounding area had been taken in by Lin Feng. Among these dragon clans, 15 dragon clans had Saint Stage experts. In total, there were 20 Saint Stage experts. This made Lin Feng very happy. This was just an ordinary dragon in a small area, but there were already 20 Sage Realm experts. These experts were basically experts who had sealed themselves in God's stones. This showed how strong the dragon race's foundation was. Among some of the top dragons, there were cultivators who had just broken through to the Sage Realm. These cultivators were terrifying. They were even more terrifying than those with a foundation. Moreover, their potential was much greater than those with a foundation. However, among the dragons that Lin Feng had subdued, there was no such level of dragon race cultivator. After subduing these dozens of dragons, Lin Feng began to let them rest for a period of time. Because the dragons in this area had basically been subdued by Lin Feng. If he wanted to expand his forces, he would need to go to other areas to expand, and there were obviously many powerful dragons in other areas. If he wanted to subdue those dragons, it would be a little more difficult. After about 3 months of rest, Lin Feng began a new expansion. This time, Lin Feng planned to subdue some second-rate dragons. The Flying Dragon clan was a dragon clan that could be ranked as a second-rate force. This dragon clan was very powerful. Moreover, the ancient city's defensive restrictions controlled by the Flying Dragon clan were very terrifying. Lin Feng's army attacked for a long time but couldn't take down this clan. So Lin Feng came in person. He broke the ancient city's defensive restrictions. Only then could the army drive straight in. The battle was extremely intense. It wasn't until Lin Feng subdued the patriarch of this clan that the battle ended. The patriarch of this clan was an expert at the 8th level of the Saint Realm. It was very terrifying. Other than this person, there were also 3 dragons at the Saint Realm. After subduing the Flying Dragon clan, Lin Feng subdued 4 more third-rate dragon clans. As a result, he had already subdued 5 third-rate dragon clans. There were about 200 fourth-rate and fifth-rate dragon clans combined. These dragons were quite terrifying when they worked together. It was almost equivalent to some royal forces. Lin Feng's actions naturally didn't escape the attention of the Ancient Dragon Clan cultivators. The Ancient Dragon Clan sent an expert to visit Lin Feng. The cultivator sent by the Ancient Dragon Clan was a female cultivator. This female cultivator's name was Gaia. Gaia was tall and charming. Although she wasn't as tall as Jean Zian, Gaia was about 1.8 meters tall. She had a gentle personality and was easy to get along with. When Guya saw that the master behind the sudden rise of this force was actually just a young human cultivator, she was shocked. She was very shocked. Lin Feng was so young, and he had only been there for a few years. He had suddenly risen. He had established such a huge force. Naturally, Gaia felt that it was very unbelievable. Chapter 57:22. Lin Gongzi. I'm here on behalf of the Ancient Dragon Clan. On behalf of the Ancient Dragon Clan, I'd like to extend an invitation to Lin Gongzi. I hope that Lin Gongzi will join our Ancient Dragon Alliance. When the time comes, with the power that Lin Gongzi has, he'll definitely be able to hold an important position in our Ancient Dragon Alliance. The Ancient Dragon Alliance will definitely treat Lin Gongzi well, Gaia said. Lin Feng knew that a power like his that was rising quickly would definitely be recruited by these top Dragon Clan powers. Lin Feng planned to join the Ancient Dragon Alliance for the time being and wait and see what would happen. Moreover, if Lin Feng did not agree, then the Ancient Dragon Alliance would attack the power that Lin Feng had built. Lin Feng had heard that the Ancient Dragon Alliance was formed by more than 100 dragon clans. Moreover, they were all second-tier dragon clans and above. Other than that, there were also quite a few dragon clans that were at the royal level. The Ancient Dragon Alliance was simply too powerful. The powers that Lin Feng had subdued were mainly third-tier, fourth-tier, and fifth-tier powers. There were only 5 second-tier dragon clans. The Ancient Dragon Alliance's power was much stronger than Lin Feng's. If a fight really broke out, Lin Feng's side would suffer heavy losses. The power that Lin Feng had built up would also be quickly disintegrated. Of course, Lin Feng was very clear about this. This was also the reason why Lin Feng had chosen to join the Ancient Dragon Alliance for the time being. Lin Feng's plan was to wait until he joined the Ancient Dragon Alliance before he went to find out more about the Ancient Dragon Alliance's situation. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Lin Feng needed to be patient. Lin Feng said, "Of course, that's not a problem. I'm more than happy to lead my subordinates to join the Ancient Dragon Alliance." Hearing that Lin Feng had agreed, Gaia was extremely happy. She said, "When will Lin Gongzi be free?" "When Lin Gongzi is free, we'll head to the Ancient Dragon City. When the time comes, the Dragon Emperor will confer you a title." Lin Feng said, "Tomorrow then." Gaia nodded and said, "Okay." Then, Lin Feng sent someone to bring Gaia away to rest. The next day, Lin Feng left with the Poison Ancestor, the Evil Zun Saint, and the Emperor Brush stayed in Heilong City to take care of things. Dragon City's Dragon City Alliance, Lin Feng was to be left. Because the Dragon Realm was really too big, it was even much bigger than the Undying Realm. Therefore, it took Lin Feng and the others 7 months to arrive in Ancient Dragon City. The Ancient Dragon City was much more majestic than the Black Dragon City. Countless dragons flew in from all directions and entered the Ancient Dragon City. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint followed Gaia into the city. The current structure of the Ancient Dragon Alliance was very similar to that of a dynasty in the secular world. The Dragon Emperor of the Ancient Dragon Tribe was equivalent to the Emperor. The higher-ups of the Dragon Tribe were equivalent to the nobles, ministers, and officials. Then, they were conferred the titles of Duke, Marquis, Count, Baron, Viscount, and so on. The specific titles were divided according to the strength of the faction behind them. After Lin Feng arrived, he was arranged to rest in the courtyard. The morning assembly would be held tomorrow, and he would be summoned by the Dragon Emperor. Lin Feng had some understanding of the Dragon Emperor. He was an extraordinary figure. It was said that this Dragon Emperor had the blood of the ancestral dragon. This was too extraordinary. Moreover, this Dragon Emperor was a quasi-transcendence expert. It was said that he had touched the threshold of Transcendence Realm. However, it was not easy to break through to the Transcendence Realm. He needed some great opportunities. Therefore, the Dragon Emperor hadn't been able to complete the breakthrough. However, there were more opportunities at the end of the era. If the Dragon Emperor could grab hold of some great opportunities at the end of the era, when he had used up all these opportunities, he might be able to break through the realm-surpassing realm. If he couldn't grab hold of these opportunities, it would be extremely difficult to break through the realm-surpassing realm in the future. Or even, it was almost impossible. Even though many ancient experts had broken through the realm-surpassing realm in history, they had only managed to do so after grabbing hold of such great opportunities. In the afternoon, someone came to visit Lin Feng. It was the eldest princess of the ancient dragon clan. Lin Feng had heard that the great princess wasn't a simple person. She was extremely strong, even stronger than some of Lin Feng's brothers. She had a higher social status than them. This kind of thing was relatively rare. Generally speaking, men's status was usually higher than women's. This was even more so in the world of cultivators. And this eldest princess's status was so high. It could be seen that this eldest princess was indeed extraordinary. Generally, the dragon clan was taller. For example, Jin Xian and Guya, who Lin Feng had seen before, were both very tall. Jin Xian was 1.9 meters tall. Although Guya wasn't as tall as Jin Xian, Guya wasn't as tall as Guya, but she was also about 1.8 meters tall. However, this eldest princess was completely different from them. The eldest princess was petite and exquisite. She was only about 1.6 meters tall. This was relatively rare in the dragon clan. Therefore, when Lin Feng saw the eldest princess, he was extremely surprised. Perhaps it was because of her petite figure. The eldest princess had a delicate and pitiful temperament. Of course, Lin Feng naturally didn't think that the eldest princess was a delicate and pitiful person. How could someone like her be simple? When she saw Lin Feng, the eldest princess smiled and said, "I presume this is Lin Gongzi?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "That's me." The eldest princess smiled and said, "I've long heard of your great name. I can finally meet you today." Lin Feng smiled but didn't say anything. He knew that the eldest princess had her own reasons for coming to see him. The eldest princess smiled and said, "There will be a gathering in a few days. I've personally come to invite you to this gathering. I wonder if you have the time to attend?" What had Lin Feng not experienced? He naturally knew why the eldest princess had invited him to this gathering. He was a new member of the Ancient Dragon Alliance, and he had many experts under his command. The eldest princess inviting him was the same as sending a signal to others. Others would think that he was on the eldest princess's side. Lin Feng guessed that this was true even within the Ancient Dragon Alliance. There were all sorts of disputes within the Ancient Dragon Alliance. There might be fights for power, or something else. Thus, although the Ancient Dragon Alliance seemed peaceful, there were definitely many dark secrets that outsiders didn't know about. Chapter 57:23. The Ancient Dragon Alliance would become his faction sooner or later, and the first princess would become his subordinate. However, Lin Feng could tell that the first princess was quite pretty, so he could consider taking her in as a concubine. Therefore, he accepted the first princess invitation. Lin Feng did not intend to refuse. Lin Feng smiled and asked, "May I know the exact date of the gathering?" When the first princess heard Lin Feng's words, she knew that Lin Feng had already made his choice. A smile appeared on her face. After all, the first princess believed that she had successfully subdued Lin Feng. However, the first princess did not know that Lin Feng was currently thinking about taking her in as a concubine in the future. The first princess said, "When the time comes, I will send someone to bring you over." Lin Feng said, "Thank you, first princess." The first princess smiled and said, "Lin Gongzi, don't be so polite." After saying that, the first princess took out an item. Lin Feng discovered that it was actually a fruit. When Lin Feng saw the fruit, he could not help but reveal an astonished expression. This was because he could sense an extremely pure and surging energy from the fruit. It was definitely an extremely rare natural treasure. Lin Feng could feel his cultivation becoming restless, which shocked him greatly. After all, it was very difficult for him to break through. Moreover, Lin Feng had already broken through to the Saint Immortal realm. Breaking through now was even more difficult than breaking through in the past. It was very difficult for ordinary items to increase his cultivation, but the fruit that the first princess took out at this moment made Lin Feng feel a desire to break through. This was enough to show just how extraordinary this fruit was. The eldest princess said, "This is a dragon saliva fruit. I wonder if young master has heard of such a thing?" Lin Feng had never heard of such a thing. What exactly was a dragon saliva fruit? After all, he had only been in the dragon world for a short period of time. Moreover, he had been focusing on expanding his territory for the past few years. Therefore, Lin Feng was not clear about many things in the dragon world. Lin Feng guessed that something like the dragon saliva fruit should be a specialty of the dragon realm. Moreover, it was a very rare spirit fruit. Otherwise, the eldest princess wouldn't have taken it out for him at this time. Lin Feng replied, "I've never heard of such a thing." The eldest princess smiled and said, "This thing can directly increase a cultivator's cultivation, and it's one of the most precious treasures in the dragon realm. This fruit blooms once every 30,000 years, bears fruit once every 30,000 years, and ripens once every 30,000 years. From blooming to bearing fruit to ripening, it takes 90,000 years to complete a cycle. Moreover, it can only bear 100 fruits each time, so this dragon saliva fruit is very precious. I'll give this dragon saliva fruit to you, sir. I hope it can help you increase your cultivation." Lin Feng naturally wouldn't be courteous with the first princess. This kind of thing was indeed something he needed. Although Lin Feng's cultivation was not weak, there was still a slight gap between him and the top experts. It was mainly because he was at a disadvantage in terms of cultivation. Lin Feng hoped to increase his cultivation as soon as possible. Only by increasing his cultivation would he be able to face anything with ease and face any expert with ease. Lin Feng was currently unable to do this. Lin Feng accepted the fruit and said, "Thank you for the dragon saliva fruit, eldest princess." The eldest princess smiled and said, "You're welcome, sir." The two of them chatted for a while before the eldest princess left. After the eldest princess left, Lin Feng took a bath and changed his clothes. At this time, a dozen or so beautiful maidservants came, and they wanted to serve Lin Feng together. This surprised Lin Feng. The other party was really well prepared. They even sent him so many beauties, and Lin Feng found that these beauties were all virgins. There were all kinds of beauties. However, Lin Feng didn't plan to spend the night with these beauties. He asked the beauties to leave. When they left, the group of beauties looked at Lin Feng with sad eyes. Lin Feng was young, handsome, strong, and had an extraordinary social status. It was rare to see someone like that. If they could spend a good night with Lin Feng, maybe Lin Feng would accept them as his wives. At that time, they would be able to make a name for themselves. However, Lin Feng didn't plan to do anything romantic with them. Of course, they were very disappointed. After the beauties left, Lin Feng ate the dragon saliva fruit and began to refine it. The energy contained in the dragon saliva fruit was very pure. Moreover, the energy it contained was very majestic. After all the energy was refined and absorbed by Lin Feng broke through from the first heaven of the Saint Immortal stage to the second heaven of the Saint Immortal stage. This made Lin Feng very happy. It was rare to see a treasure that could raise one's cultivation level, let alone raise his cultivation level. If a cultivator at the same cultivation level as him refined the dragon saliva fruit, that cultivator might be able to break through 6 or 7 cultivation levels. Lin Feng couldn't help but think to himself, the dragon saliva fruit's ability to raise one's cultivation level was just too shocking. Lin Feng thought that the Dragon Emperor would definitely reward him with many things when he was conferring his title tomorrow morning. It would be even better if there were dragon saliva fruits at that time. If there weren't any, could he ask the Dragon Emperor for some dragon saliva fruits? Lin Feng believed that the Dragon Emperor would definitely have dragon saliva fruits. Although there might not be a lot, there would definitely be some. After Lin Feng made up his mind, he planned to take action tomorrow. After breaking through, Lin Feng did not continue cultivating. Instead, he had a good sleep. The next day, the eldest princess once again came to Lin Feng's place. She smiled at Lin Feng and asked, "Did you rest well, young master?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "I rested quite well." The eldest princess said, "In 2 hours, the morning court will begin. Someone will come to change young master's clothes, and there will also be a master of ceremonies who will teach young master some etiquette and rules that he needs to follow." Lin Feng nodded and said, "Okay." This was because the eldest princess had many things to deal with every day. Therefore, she did not stay at Lin Feng's place for long. Soon, the eldest princess left. Not long after the eldest princess left, someone came to change Lin Feng's clothes. The other party had prepared new clothes for Lin Feng. Under the service of a few beautiful maidservants, Lin Feng changed into new clothes. Then, a master of ceremonies explained to Lin Feng some of the rules of the morning court. 2 hours later, someone brought Lin Feng to the Supreme Harmony Palace for the morning court. Chapter 57:24. Outside of the Supreme Harmony Palace, there were many guards from the Dragon Clan. The Supreme Harmony Palace looked majestic and dignified. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. It really looked like a royal palace. Lin Feng was led by the guards to the hall. The eunuch outside saw Lin Feng and shouted, "Lin Feng, Lin Gongzi requests an audience." Then, Lin Feng entered the hall. After all, it was a force formed by cultivators. Although it was modeled after a mortal country, there weren't that many rules. For example, some etiquette such as kneeling and kowtowing were not present. After entering the Supreme Harmony Hall, they saw that there were about 100 cultivators inside. Most of these cultivators were from the dragon race. Aside from the dragon race, there were also some other races present. However, their numbers were relatively small. After seeing Lin Feng come in, these people couldn't help but talk. It was mainly because Lin Feng was too young. Such a young cultivator had managed to subdue so many dragons in such a short time. He had even managed to create such a powerful group. Many people were astonished. They asked themselves, if they were asked to do these things, they might not succeed. However, Lin Feng did it. This was what shocked them. Greetings to the Dragon Emperor. Lin Feng cupped his fists. Sitting on the dragon throne was the Dragon Emperor. He looked to be in his 40s. He was at the peak of his life, and his blood energy was very powerful and majestic. After feeling the aura emitted from the Dragon Emperor, Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. The Dragon Emperor's aura was too tyrannical. Even the quasi-transcendents were divided into different levels. For example, Lin Feng could fight against some weaker quasi-transcendents. However, if he met a powerful quasi-transcendence, he would be able to sense it. For example, the Dragon Emperor's cultivation was absolutely terrifying. He was at the top of the quasi-transcendence. If Lin Feng were to fight the Dragon Emperor, he definitely wouldn't be a match for him unless Lin Feng broke through to the Sage Realm. "Rise," the Dragon Emperor said. "Thank you, Dragon Emperor." Lin Feng thanked him and stood up straight. A eunuch beside the Dragon Emperor said, "By the will of the heavens, the Emperor decrees that Lin Feng is the Count of the Ancient Dragon Alliance. He is rewarded with 30 million high-grade immortal stones, 1,000 immortal pills, 2,000 immortal herbs, 10 immortal tools, and 10 top-grade divine abilities." "Thank you." After hearing the Dragon Emperor's rewards, Lin Feng was quite surprised. The Dragon Emperor's rewards were quite good, but Lin Feng didn't get the Dragon Saliva Fruit because Lin Feng wanted to use it to improve his cultivation. And now, the things that were being rewarded might be priceless treasures to others. However, he didn't lack those things. If the Dragon Emperor gave him an immortal scripture, Lin Feng would be happy. However, the Dragon Emperor obviously wouldn't give him an immortal scripture. After all, he was just a count. It wasn't an important title like a duke. Lin Feng said, "Thank you, Dragon Emperor, for your reward. However, I hope that the Dragon Emperor can give me something as well." "What is it?" The Dragon Emperor looked at Lin Feng and asked. The Dragon Emperor's expression was as unchanging as a rock. Therefore, no one knew what the Dragon Emperor was thinking. Lin Feng said, "I've been looking for an opportunity to break through recently. I heard that the Dragon Emperor has dragon saliva fruits, so I want to ask for a few to break through." After hearing Lin Feng's words, the corners of the mouths of many people twitched violently. Dragon saliva fruits were extremely precious, and this guy actually wanted them. What an exorbitant demand. Only those who had made great contributions could be rewarded with dragon saliva fruits. However, Lin Feng hadn't made any contributions yet, and he was already asking for dragon saliva fruits. Naturally, many people were extremely dissatisfied with this. "Kid, you're just a count, and you want dragon saliva fruits? Who gave you the courage to do that? Kid, you should know your limits. Don't ask for things that don't belong to you." Many people sneered and looked at Lin Feng mockingly. He smiled faintly and said, "You can't get it because you don't have the ability. I'm different from you. It's natural for me to get dragon saliva fruits because I can accomplish things that many people can't." After hearing Lin Feng's words, the group of people was furious. This kid was so arrogant. He had just been made a count, and he dared to show off in front of them. Many people couldn't tolerate this. Then, someone laughed and said, "Kid, you're too arrogant. Is this a place for you to be arrogant? Kid, you think you can be so arrogant just because you have some ability? You found the wrong person to show off to. If this wasn't the Supreme Harmony Palace, I would have already taught you a lesson." One cultivator after another looked at Lin Feng coldly. "Quiet," the Dragon Emperor said at this moment. The Dragon Emperor said. Those cultivators who were originally angry at Lin Feng immediately shut up. The Dragon Emperor looked deeply at Lin Feng and said, "If you want dragon saliva fruits, of course, there's no problem. However, you have to complete some missions or make great contributions to the Ancient Dragon Alliance to be rewarded with dragon saliva fruits. I hope you can understand this." Lin Feng nodded when he heard the Dragon Emperor. After the morning assembly was over, everyone went outside. Many cultivators looked at Lin Feng coldly, but they had heard that Lin Feng seemed to be close to the first princess. Because Lin Feng was close to the first princess, these cultivators didn't rashly attack Lin Feng. Lin Feng naturally didn't care about those cultivators' attitudes. He didn't stay in the Supreme Harmony Palace. Lin Feng left the palace and went back to his residence. Chapter 57:25. After returning, Lin Feng found that there were all sorts of things in the courtyard, all of which had been given to him by the Dragon Emperor. Lin Feng didn't really care about these things, but since they were given to him by the Dragon Emperor, Lin Feng wouldn't reject them. He put them away and rewarded the servants who had brought them over with some immortal stones. After thanking him profusely, the servants left. Not long after, the eldest princess came to Lin Feng's place. She looked at Lin Feng and bitterly smiled. "I heard that during the morning assembly, Lin Gongzi had a verbal conflict with some people?" Lin Feng nodded. "That's true. Those guys were looking for trouble, so I had a conflict with them. However, it wasn't a big problem." Although the eldest princess hadn't known Lin Feng for a long time, she more or less understood Lin Feng's personality. For example, Lin Feng was a casual person. Most of the time, he didn't care about the consequences of his actions. In fact, this kind of personality was both good and bad. It was good because people with this kind of personality had fewer crooked thoughts and were easier to control. Perhaps it was because people with this kind of personality would easily offend others. The eldest princess said, "There's no need to pay attention to those people." Lin Feng said, "I didn't take those people's words to heart. Moreover, they should know that my relationship with the eldest princess isn't ordinary, so they won't dare to rashly make a move." After that, Lin Feng added that if they dared to make a move, he would definitely beat them half to death. The eldest princess said, "Although that's the case, sometimes it's best to avoid conflicts. After all, we're all working together. If there's a conflict, it won't look good." The eldest princess continued, "I've also heard that Lin Gongzi wants the dragon saliva fruit. Unfortunately, I only have one dragon saliva fruit, and I've already given it to the young master. If Lin Gongzi really wants the dragon saliva fruit, there is an important matter. If Lin Gongzi can complete it, he will be rewarded with 2 dragon saliva fruits." Lin Feng's eyes could not help but light up slightly. If he really obtained 2 dragon saliva fruits, it should allow him to break through again. Lin Feng asked, "May I know what I need to do to obtain these 2 fruits?" "It's like this. The bloodline of the ancestral dragon runs through our ancient dragon clan. I believe that Lin Gongzi should have heard of this before, right?" Lin Feng had indeed heard of this matter. It was said that the Dragon Emperor had awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline. In fact, Lin Feng had been quite skeptical about this matter before. This was because no one in the ancient dragon tribe had awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline before the Dragon Emperor. Until the Dragon Emperor awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline. It was only then that everyone realized that the ancient dragon clan was the descendant of the ancestral dragon. As the Dragon Realm was currently in a special period, many people believe that the Dragon Emperor's claim of awakening the ancestral dragon bloodline was a ploy to win people over. Why was that? Because the ancestral dragon was the ancestor of the ancient dragon clan. It was the first ancient dragon clan to appear in this epoch. No other ancient dragon clan could compare to it, and the various major clans respected the ancestral dragon greatly. The ancestral dragon was worshipped like a god by the various ancient dragon clans. Therefore, when the Dragon Emperor suddenly claimed that he had awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline, everyone believed that he was the ancestral dragon's successor. He was the true ruler of the dragon realm. The descendants of the ancestral dragon were even more qualified than the descendants of the true dragon clan to become the ruler of the dragon realm. However, from the eldest princess's words, Lin Feng could deduce that the Dragon Emperor really did possess the ancestral dragon bloodline. This greatly shocked Lin Feng. Lin Feng asked, "Eldest princess, have you awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline?" The eldest princess smiled bitterly and said, "No, only my father has awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline in our clan. In fact, before my father, even we didn't know that the ancestral dragon bloodline flowed in our bodies. Because before my father, all the ancestral dragon bloodlines had already fallen silent. It was no wonder that the ancient dragon clan's cultivators didn't know that the ancestral dragon bloodline flowed in their clan. If the ancestral dragon bloodline was completely silent, it was basically impossible to awaken it. Therefore, in the long years, no one in the ancient dragon clan had awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline. Only if they encountered a relatively great opportunity would they be able to rise again. The Dragon Emperor should have obtained an extremely heaven-defying opportunity. Lin Feng didn't know what kind of opportunity the Dragon Emperor had encountered. It actually allowed him to awaken the ancestral dragon bloodline. However, one could imagine that the Dragon Emperor's opportunity this time must be extremely extraordinary. Since the Dragon Emperor has already awakened the ancestral dragon bloodline, I'm sure you all will awaken it soon, Lin Feng said. I hope so. The first princess revealed a hopeful look and continued, There is a place called the Broken Dragon Abyss. It is said that there are some things left behind by the ancestral dragon clan in the Broken Dragon Abyss. The Broken Dragon Abyss is extremely dangerous. Previously, our ancient dragon clan's cultivators wanted to enter and explore it, but in the end, they failed and suffered heavy losses. In addition, there were some dragons who wanted to enter the Broken Dragon Abyss, but in the end, they also failed. Many of them also died there. Entering that place without powerful means is basically no different from courting death. Later, my father issued a reward. If someone can enter that place to explore the situation inside and bring out the things inside, they will be rewarded with the dragon saliva fruit. Which ancestral dragon left behind this thing? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask doubtfully. It should be something left behind by the second-generation ancestral dragon. The first princess said. Lin Feng's eyes couldn't help but smile. The second-generation ancestral dragon was definitely a terrifying existence. The things left behind must be extremely extraordinary. Perhaps there was a great opportunity there, although that place was extremely dangerous. However, Lin Feng still planned to find time to go to that place to take a look. It would be even better if he could obtain the opportunity there. If he really obtained something good there, if he didn't say anything, the Dragon Emperor wouldn't know. At that time, he would just casually give him something and say that these things were treasures he obtained from there. That way, this matter could be covered up. So what if the Dragon Emperor was suspicious? He had no evidence. Then, he would be able to obtain 2 dragon saliva fruits. This was simply killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Thinking of this, Lin Feng couldn't help but smile. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.